So hello everybody, it is me, Demetra K, the host of the Demetra K Show, and I am sitting here with Donovan, a recovering Democrat Sadiq, and it is the Demetra K Show where we promote Black love, knowledge, and understanding of all things that go on in the Black community to make us an even better people, with the emphasis on even, because we are a great people, but we can always strive to do better. I'd like to say a big giant thank you to YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter. You all are the other side of the conversation. You all are not just viewers, but you are participants, because we feel like your voices should be heard too, which is why this is probably one of the only shows that tries to read each and every comment, although a lot of times we have a lot of people here, so we're not able to do that all the time, but we will make sure that you are heard at least a few times. I hope that helps. Also like to say a big giant thank you to Marcus Guyton for everything he does behind the scenes on Facebook to make the show go further. Today we're going to be talking about the situation with Tiffany Cross, the host, or the ex-host, I should say, of the Cross Connection on MSNBC, and the situation with her. Of course, it is midterms, so we're going to talk about a whole lot of things pertaining to that. Midterms are on this Tuesday, November 8th. And so who do we have on here really quick? Brother Reggie, Anita, Rain, and Beverly. How are you doing? So Donovan, what say you before we get started?
Yes, do us a favor, you guys. It is Sunday, so that means it's Demetra K Day. But do us a favor, hit that like, share, subscribe button. Also, if so be it, and you guys are going to bless Demetra K, please, we have some Cash Apps down there, Venmo, PayPal, all this other stuff to help promote the show. This is a very, very pivotal discussion as in regards to what happened to Mrs. Cross. And, we look forward to you guys' input to see, where this conversation is going, and maybe we can wake some people up. Also, please do us the biggest favor, share it on your platform so that some of your family members and your friends can wake up as well. Or if they don't wake up, at least have an opinion on what's going on in the world.
Absolutely. So who else came on here? Babe Rax, how are you doing? Chris MC, what's going on with you? Sunlight, how are you? And Marvin, I hope you all are having a wonderful day. Yes, thumbs up, thumbs up. I appreciate that if you guys do that. So of course, a lot of things are going on. Of course, we have the midterm elections that are coming up, but one of the most, I guess some would say, important voices in Black media was that of Tiffany Cross. She was on MSNBC for 2 years as the host of the Cross Connection, where I guess she would speak about things in the Black community in regards to politics and I guess a whole host of other things. She's also an author of a few books. Well, it sounds like on Friday, I believe, unbeknownst to her, she was let go. Her contract was not renewed. She said that she is disheartened to learn that is the fate of her show. Again, she will no longer be continuing on MSNBC. So there are a few things that people are saying kind of contributed to that, but I want to kind of read a little bit of her statement. It was long, but I'll read a little bit of it. She says, fresh off the heels of a racial reckoning, as so many have called it, we see that with progress, there is always backlash. Now is not the time to retreat to politics or journalism as usual. It is my hope that the last 2 years at MSNBC has been disruptive and transformative, changing how politics are discussed and making policy more digestible. It was the opportunity of a lifetime to create a show the culture would be proud to keep trending every weekend. So it should be said that her show was considered one of the #1 shows on MSNBC on the weekend. It was very highly rated. People like to watch her. So again, she is not on there. Now, some of the things that people are saying might have contributed to her not being on the show is that it says Cross has been a headache for NBC Universal management after making controversial comments like declaring the country was in a civil war. She most recently said Florida is the D word of the country in a Thursday interview with Charlemagne the God on his show. I guess they had to pick amongst the red states that they would get rid of or something like that. And she said Florida, and she did liken it to a man's lower region of the country. So it sounds like maybe they had an issue with that. It is also said that she said something, I guess, about Tucker Carlson, who is on Fox News, who is very right-wing. And an article that I looked up said the final straw for Cross may have been her comments this week, as I said, about Florida appearing on the Comedy Central Hell of a Week with Charlemagne. Cross was asked which state the Democrats could afford to lose in the upcoming midterm elections. Florida, literally, this is what she said, Florida literally looks like the D of the country, so let's get rid of Florida. let's castrate Florida. It says, in the same appearance, Cross said that it was impossible to separate the Republican Party from the right-wing extremists, saying that they had merged together now. And so again, doesn't sound like MSNBC was too happy with some of her comments. Of course, a lot of people on Twitter and everywhere else, I guess, are upset. They're saying that we should boycott MSNBC. It's not right. We need to come together and let them know how displeased we are that she is no longer on the air. But I want to remind you of something that she said not so long ago about Black men. And I've seen a call and a cry for Black men to jump on board, to be outspoken about what happened to dear Tiffany Cross. So I want to add this to the stream here, and I'm going to let it play.
Cliff, listen, I think Roland made a really legitimate point here. I will say, you know, a lot of Black men sometimes feel like they're ignored or they're put down, particularly sometimes even by Black women in the media. So this is not that. But I do hear Roland's point that felt ignored. But you feel ignored, and then you go over to the other side. The oppressed feel oppressed. So then you go and try to align with the oppressor. So I'm not putting Black men down, but sometimes it's like, well, some of you Kevin Samuels following Tariq Nasheed quoting people, please look at the truth and see what's happening and get in line with some of the Black women. Is majority, like he said, vote Democrat, but that margin of people who could be plucked away from your people and go advance policies that harm your people, I just don't understand that.
So again, that was Tiffany Cross about a month ago, basically admonishing Black men who listened to Tariq Nasheed and listened to the late Kevin Samuels. And I guess she was alluding to the fact that maybe they may be dissuading you and giving you bad information to the point of you all, you Black men, wanting to go and vote with the oppressor to hurt your people and all this other stuff. And so, you know, really listening to her make comments like that is like, well, which oppressor are you speaking of? Now, if you guys notice on the thumbnail, I had a picture of Tiffany Cross, and I had two wings. One said Democrats, one said Republican, because we know what? The Republicans and the Democrats are two different wings of the same bird. And so when she says that Black men are voting against her, their better interests to help the oppressors, like, well, you're talking about the Democrats? Because we know that MSNBC is very left-leaning, in that they are very pro-Democrat. And we also know that Black people, some Black people, enough Black people are taking the Democrats to task for continuously ignoring us when it comes to our issues and the things that we want. Of course, you guys know that Tariq Nasheed and the Foundation of Black Americans had a reparations rally in Washington, D.C. yesterday. That was wildly successful. A lot of people showed up and they were asking and bringing awareness to the issue of reparations. And so you have Tiffany Cross, who has unfortunately lost her job. And then you have a lot of people who are saying that, oh, people need to be outraged and they're calling on Black men. But just like the Democratic Party, Ms. Cross, when you single out Black men and you alienate Black men, just like the Democratic Party, then, I mean, you're kind of on your own with that, right? Like, you can't talk stuff about Black men, as she said, who voted for the Democrats, you know, right behind Black women. As she said, Black men, y'all need to get in line behind Black women. And of course, she was talking about that of Stacey Abrams, who is in battle there in Georgia. She's running for the governorship. Doesn't look like she's going to win. She came kind of close last time, and they were saying that if more Black men voted for her, then she would have won. So again, on one hand, you keep hearing how Black men, you know, they're destroying what could be for the Democrats, this, that, and the other. But then it's like, now you need Black men after you done talked all that junk. So it's like, what do you want Black men to do? And so, as I always say, Democratic Party, anybody else attached to it, if you want Black men and Black people in general, let's just keep it real, to do anything for you anymore, I think you need to do stuff for Black people. I don't know. Y'all tell me. So, Donovan, what say you? And I'm going to get to these comments. And you guys on Facebook, if you see this in anywhere you are and you'd like me to read your comment, click on the link, and I would love to do that.
Right. I'm not going to be too winded because we got some great comments in the comment section from our co-host there. But here's the thing. The Democrats seem to know they're going to get blown out this Tuesday. They seem to know they're going to lose the House and the Senate. OK, there's no doubt about that. When Herschel wins, it's just going to be a wrap there. So the Democrats, what they're doing is, in my opinion, is they're cleaning house. And how do they clean house? The last election, it was the Black women, the backbone of the Democratic Party, that basically they rode on into, victory, whatever you call victory. And now they see that there's a big backlash coming in and it's not working, because now more black men are not voting, Republican or Democrat, I'm sorry, than last time. So they're looking at the numbers and stuff. And this is just my theory. And I want you guys to see if you guys agree with me in the comments. And Demetra, if you agree with me, I think the Democratic Party, just like Joe Biden said when he got elected, was, you're going to have to reach out to those Latinos. And I think the Democratic Party is going to pivot to reach out to the Latinos more so, because 60% of all Latinos now are voting Republican. So their attention is going to be to try to get those Latino votes, because they don't need to reach out to us anymore, because if 90-something% of us are voting for them, they don't have to do a doggone thing. But I really think their strategy is to reach out and try to harness those Latino votes, because that is what they're saying. I mean, even Joe Biden is saying Latino, Latino, Latino. We've got open borders. We've got rights that Latinos get. We've got, or people that are here illegally, they get all this stuff. So they're just throwing money at these groups that should not be here legally to begin with. So that's my thing. But let's hear what you guys have to say.
So hello to everybody that came on here. I see y'all making some pretty crafty correlation between her last name and all of that. So yeah, and I never wish that anybody is unemployed. I've been unemployed before, and it's a horrible feeling to be fired and not know, right? Sometimes you're like, I don't know, it seems like I might be getting fired, but I've been fired unbeknownst, and it kind of sucks. So I don't want to make light of that situation, but really don't try to beckon upon people that you threw rocks at, But Donovan, to your point about the Democratic Party reaching out to Hispanics, Hispanics are like, yeah, thank you for getting us over here. But more so, we are conservative, and we do hold conservative views more than we do liberal. And so a lot of them are going to vote for the Republican Party. Should also be said that a lot of Black people, especially Black men, I don't say a lot, but enough, are starting to go over to the Republican Party. A lot of it is, some of it is a protest vote, and some of it is just, they kind of embody the values that I have. So yes. All right, so let's get back to these comments. And Marcus, thank you so much for sharing the link. And Rain says she needs to get in the unemployment line for real. Oh Lord. And Daryl, how you doing? Says Abrams, take a seat. Yeah, unfortunately, it looks like she may not be pulling this out unless something miraculously happens. Of course, Warnock and Walker in Georgia also for the Senate, they are in a dead heat. So anything can happen, but it is said that the early voter turnout seems to be more of the Democrats. However, that's nothing new. Democrats seem to turn out early voting and all that. And Republicans, especially in the last election or two, they like to actually show up to the polls, because y'all know they've been saying that there's cheating going on and things like that. And so typically with the mail-in ballots, rather, so typically Republicans like to show up on election day, just to put that out there. And if I didn't already, how you doing, Anita? You say facts. And Wilbur, what's going on with you? Only Pamela's way, what's going on with you? Big and Rich, how you doing? It says, from what I read, it says Stacey Abrams was in a relationship with a white woman. Why won't she go after the white woman vote? You know what? That is interesting. I've never heard that up until now. It does sound like she's not married, so I don't really know what that means, but interesting if that is true. And Daryl, you say, Chi-Town in the building. What's going on? And Artemis, how you doing? He says, Ice Cube said the Republican Party offered $500 million. Joe Biden never contacted him with a counter offer. Exactly. And they said once they got in the office that they would, and they've been in there for over 2 years and nothing so far. And Christian says it was phenomenal. Thanks to the new Black media. Great time to be alive. So he's talking about the reparations rally. Yes, I saw the footage, and it was an amazing thing to see. Hopefully, there's another one next year, and I might like to attend. And Wilbur says, if our people continue to follow the American way, I can't go with them. J Bubba says, I voted on the first day of early voting in Texas. Yes, and a lot of people did. I will say that I early voted as well. And that's all I'm going to say about that. And Charlemagne on Move, how you doing? He says, we needed addresses, what really happening. And to that, what are you speaking of? And Stephen, how you doing? He says, I think the Dems know that they are done and will try again next election. Well, if they want Black people on board, they know what they need to do, right? And it's probably not going to happen this time around. Even with the protest vote, it's probably going to take another time or two. But I think they'll get the hint earlier on that Black people are not to be played with anymore. T-Sean, how you doing? He says Latinos don't like socialism. Yes, so to my point about them being a little bit more on the conservative side. Hayward, how are you? He says definitely not voting Republican either. And a lot of people aren't doing that. And so some people are like, I'm probably going to sit out and maybe do some bird watching or something that day. Be easy, how you doing? Says they've already pivoted. That's why says that's why allowing open borders in hopes of getting their votes. Yeah, but it's kind of backfiring. And Charmaine, I should say, I'm sorry, on the move, says we needed to start a new group, independent. Yep, we definitely need to do that. Damon, what's going on with you? Thank you so much. Dial Tone, how you doing? Says the Black vote is the cream of the crop always. Yep, and we need to start acting like that. Hello, Don, my moderator. How are you doing this fine Sunday? Moni, what's going on with you? You says, Demetra, hope you're enjoying daylight savings time tonight. Much Detroit love to the Pioneer. You know what? I forgot that it was even. I didn't even really know daylight savings was coming up until I woke up this morning. I was like, it's daylight outside. I'm not tired. Then about an hour or so later, I was like, oh, snap. It was daylight savings time. So it totally caught me off guard, but it is kind of dark here. So,
yeah. I think that came into a thing 3 years.
You're kind of freezing up, buddy. You're frozen. I hope you can hear me, but you're frozen. Mr. D. Rob, he says, look like she better find her a sugar daddy. Call up Percy Earl in his Cadillac. So you're not frozen anymore, but you're kind of blurry. Mm-hmm. And Charmaine says, I've been warning our
internet screwing around.
Okay. Go ahead. What do you got to say? We can hear you now.
Oh, no. Sorry about that. I got Spectrum. I'm sorry, you guys. I got Spectrum. But daylight savings time was supposed to be, California was supposed to do away with it. And it's like it still hasn't done it. So
2023. Next year.
Next year. Gotcha.
Yeah. And I think that's true for everybody, if I'm not mistaken. And let's see here. And Charmaine says, I've been warning our people. No one wanted to listen. Yes, indeed. Hopefully they're listening now. Anita says, if we vote, it should be independent. Why vote for either? I agree. Arson, how are you doing? Says, hey guys, been a while. How have you been? We have been fabulous. Says, let me listen more and gather my thoughts. For now, I love you too. That is all. I love you too. And David says, no protest, straight boycott this dirt system. And Jay Bubby says she better get some WIC government cheese. Wow. And I think where she lives, they have food stamps books too. Yeah, I don't know if she has any kids or anything like that. If she's married, I don't know.
No, she doesn't have any kids. She was not married. She was raised by a single mother. No, she does not have any of that.
And then Donovan, your comment says Tiffany Cross seems to have a problem with Black men and is a feminist. Malika Andrews seems to have a problem with Black men. Okay, yeah, there's a lot of those pundits on the left wing side of the media seem like they're really condescending when it comes to Black men. And Steven, he says Abrams needs to ask illegals to vote for her. Yeah, I mean, she said she wasn't really cutting for reparations like that. So it's like, why are you talking to Black people or, a Black man? We want reparations, right? And T-Sean, he says, what do you feel about Sunny Halston comparing white women to roaches? Ooh, I didn't hear that comment, but man, Sunny Halston don't sound like she's trying to be on the air too long because, you can't talk about them like that. This is the first that I've heard of it, but she'll probably be on an apology tour very soon as well. Dial Tone says cheating has been going on for thousands of years, right? And Marty says Donovan said it right the first time. A lot of Black men and women are fed up with with both. Can't wait till Tuesday so we can see who's going to win. Therefore, you don't have world talking about it daily. Yes, you know what? I'm with you too. I think around this time we do get political fatigue, and it's like, come on, already, let's get it over with. So I totally agree with you. Family says Tiffany Cross was a winch, and after only 2 years they broke the wrench. But I know what you mean. On to the next, yeah. And it sounds like she was actually filling in for Joy Reid when she made some disparaging comments talking about a civil war and things like that. And so I don't know, but they have other people fill in until they can find somebody else to do the job. And Facebook user, I don't know who you are because this is what it says here, so I don't know who you are. But anyway, hello, how you doing? He says, I'm sitting this one out. I'm not moved by any of the candidates on either side. And Damien says, the American way is dead in street. Stay on point, Black First Family. Yes, indeed. Steve says, we are forcing their hand now, and we need to apply even more pressure. Yes, indeed. And Sherry, how you doing, Black First? Indeed. Donovan says, once the Republicans take over, the Democrats are going to use that as an excuse of why they can't do anything for Black people. Same playbook. Mr. Pirate Brain, how are you? Super Patriot, what's going on? Moni says, I think they need to reach out to the Hispanic voters and let them put in office. I would love to see them do that so they can leave Black people alone. I'm not voting for no Republican or Democrat. Sounds like a protest vote. How you doing, Cortez? Long time no see. Oops, my comments jumped up. Let me pull them back down here. It happens sometimes when I get a lot of comments. And Super Patriot says, Jesus Christ, daylight happened. I didn't even know. Yeah, that was me. I didn't know until like a couple of hours later. And I was like, well, that explains it. Because for the last 2 weeks or so, I've been like really tired, like hard for me to get up early. So today was no problem. And Mr. Pirate Brain, you says, did you both go to the rally for reparations? No, I did not. I was in Washington, D.C., and I am at home. So I didn't go, but they have one next year. I may think about going. Sounds like it was very informational. So I'm glad that it really did work out. Dial Tony says the black table kick a leg. Stevie says Roland Martin tampering with the internet connection. Wow. Jay Bubba says, so you're talking to Percy Earl Sweetwater. He says Percy Earl Sweetwater would take care of her. Laugh out loud. So you're talking about Tiffany. And Super Patriot says, how can they do away with daylight savings? Well, it was on the ballot somewhere. I know definitely in California, but I don't know if it's supposed to happen on the federal level, to where once it changes in the spring, you know how you get more daylight. It's supposed to stay like that, I guess, until people vote to change it back to enjoy more daylight. But I was telling my daughter, I said, yeah, I think they own something with that. We want to get more work out of them. More daylight, more working hours, right? I don't know. Y'all tell me. And Marnie says, Demetra, you got to bring back your signature lipstick. The natural thing is not doing it. You got to bring back your signature. You should be doing that every time you jump on air. It's the beautiful colors. Maybe I will for you next time. I don't want to disappoint you. And Rain says Hispanics, Asians know that we black voters are not voting Democrats. Now they are claiming that Democrats are not doing enough for them. Yep, which is a lie. They just want all the credit for the red wave. Absolutely. And we hear, especially in San Francisco, where the Asians are saying that they have a huge issue with black on Asian crime. So they have recalled their DA, Chessie Bolden, and they got another black woman. Her name escaped me, so forgive me. But they're saying that the Democrats aren't doing enough for us. And it's like, you just got a whole Asian hate crime bill. What are you talking about, right? Anyway.
Plus money in the bill. Plus money. But that's not enough.
Right. And Pamela says, Sister Demetra, like you got who you like, says like you got who for internet, which I have the same as Donovan. So I have Xfinity, and y'all know for a while it was tripping. So knock on wood that it's doing good now, but for a minute it was tripping. I don't know what the deal was. And Damon says, Smoke and Mirrors, the system doesn't give a F about the black vote. Stay focused on self, Black First Family. Yes, indeed. Pirate Bay says, life is like a box of chocolates. Run, Herschel, run. Forrest Gump reference there. Dalton says, don't you want 40 acres in a Tesla? I know that I do. I don't know about a Tesla, but something compatible, right? Okay, Tisha, I don't know why it's coming up as just Facebook user. That is really weird. It does that sometimes. Marty says, like, I don't like daylight savings time. It gets dark earlier in Michigan, and I really hate that. It truly does. So that means now you have to get up more early to take care of your business. Yeah, I like to get up early, so it doesn't really bother me. I mean, I'm one to go to bed early. Shoot, sometimes I could be in the bed at 6:30 and not even be shameful about it at all. So it doesn't bother me too much. Let's see here. Okay. Yes, y'all, if y'all can hit the like button, I would love and appreciate you for that. Of course, if you guys are on Facebook and you see this, click on the link and I would love to read your comment. And Ellis, how you doing? Dial Tony says, I'm eyeing Yang. So you like Andrew Yang? If he runs again in 2020, in 2024, that would definitely be interesting. And Donovan says Roland Martin is hoping that he could get that spot from MSNBC. Yes, Amasa, I'll be good and do what you say. But you notice too on that one clip that I just showed you as she was talking about Kevin Samuels and Tariq Nasheed, he was just sitting there. Normally he's a little bit more demonstrative, but he was sitting there like, I don't know if I want to jump on this. I'm just sit back because I already know they ain't gonna see this and it's gonna be on and popping. So yeah, he didn't want none of that. And TC says Arizona doesn't acknowledge daylight savings. Yes, so they don't. That is absolutely true. Tracy, how you doing? Says, are you going to do a watch party for the election on Tuesday? Yeah, that's interesting. We've done that before. I guess we could. One of us would have to watch the numbers, though. I don't know. That'd be interesting. I know Donovan is very tied into the politics where he is. So he may have to do some covering of politics there. But I don't know. We'll discuss that. It's a very interesting idea, though. And Rain, you say Donovan facts, and Artemis says you haven't mentioned anything about it. But what do you think about Kyrie Irving episode, Hebrew the Negroes post, and the attack from Shaquille and Charles Barkley and LeBron James? I mean, I've been talking about it a lot on Twitter. I mean, obviously, what we are witnessing in real time is that of buck breaking. We are watching a real live buck breaking with that of Kyrie and Kanye. We know that Kyrie, he posted the link to the movie that is still on Amazon. And in fact, it now says that is it a bestseller on Amazon. He posted the link and he's been accused of everything you can think of under the sun, including being that of anti-Semitic. He did apologize eventually once they put the pressure on him, but now they got a bullet list of things they want him to do in order to be deemed acceptable. I think that eventually Black people need to wake up. If this does not wake us up, when I say wake up, we need to unify. And because they're unified and we are not unified, we have a giant schism. And they can only do that to our folks because we just we take it, right? Nike has suspended relations with that of Kyrie. Black people, and I did a small video on it yesterday. Black people spend quite a bit of money on tennis shoes. In 2020, it is said that $70 billion was spent on tennis shoes alone, and a lot of that was from Black people. There's only about 18 Black shoe companies, from what I understand, in the world. And I'm sure they could use some of that money. So that's what we really should be focusing our energy. But I don't think that we should continue giving businesses to people who continue to do our people dirty. All right, so let's see here. And Jan Michael, how you doing? It says, hey, and greetings. If you want to continue to beg for equality, continue. If you want to compete, finish strong. I love it. Yes, indeed. And Facebook user TG says, thank you. I watch from YouTube mostly now under Lenore Knox. Okay, got you. David says, don't sleep on sellout Shaquille and Barkley. So yes, and to that point too, yeah, I personally think that they are a sellout. I mean, even when they said, oh, now, you know, it leaves guys like me and you to have to answer for that. It's like, no, you don't. Just shut your mouth. You ain't got to answer for that. Just be quiet, right? Shannon Sharp too. He's another one that's getting dragged through the mud. Of course, Stephen A. Smith, he's always saying something that's kind of out there, if you will. Michael, how are you doing? And Mike Nice, what's going on with you? He says, good evening to everybody. And Joanne, how you doing? He says, personally, I believe we should not be voting for anyone at all. These people know who we are. And the more they engage you in this arena, it gives them more power because they never give you anything. I totally agree. And Christian says, I agree. More hours, more labor. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking, right? And Tisha says, I watched it twice, and I'm convinced most of the people that are commenting on it were triggered by the title and never watched it. Yeah, I haven't watched it yet, but that's what I heard, that people are like, I don't really see what the big uproar is. So I still need to watch it. And Donovan says, do you guys think the Democrats will lose the House and the Senate if they do take over? Is it the end of the world for Black people? I personally think, yeah, they are going to lose the Senate. They only have to lose one seat, they being the Democrats, before the Republicans take over. Of course, you know, I think there's like 25 seats as well that Republicans have to do better at, where Trump didn't do so well. Doesn't seem like that would be too hard for them to do. But yeah, I think it's going to be pretty tough for the Democrats because, you know, you got the economy. Inflation is through the roof and a whole host of other things people just are not pleased with. So yeah, it doesn't look very promising, but stranger things have happened, right? Michael says it is a good lesson for Democrats not to take Black people for granted. I totally agree. And Jewel, how you doing? Says, just saying, I don't like Nike, never did. Yeah, Nike gets a lot of money. In fact, their CEO, John Donahoe, was like, if it wasn't for Black athletes and Black people, we wouldn't be where we are. It's Black culture that has put Nike on. And so go figure, right? Damon says, forget tennis shoes, open a brokerage. Yes, indeed. Hello, Miss Kiki. How you doing? Says, hey, peeps. Yeah, as for the election, I decided I'm sitting this one out myself. DeSantis, Florida governor, is a monster, but I'm tired of going through the motions with these politicians. These black ones running are nothing but ashy cans. And he said, American, ashy cans like African. I got you. Americans talking a good game and will do nothing for their people. I'm tired of them all. Yep, a lot of people are just doing what they call a protest vote, or by not voting or what have you, or voting for something totally different than both parties. Tawana says, I watched two of the three Hebrew Negroes documentaries since the controversy. Yeah, and now it's a bestseller. It wasn't about a week ago, but now it is. So it sounds like a lot of people are. And hello, Jafia. And he says, if I didn't already say hello, he says, these people are proving the hitman right. Good evening, everybody. Yes, indeed. Dalton says, Donovan, nice name. And L Boogie, how you doing? He says, hello, Demetra and Donovan. And Tisha says, we can't keep expecting athletes or celebrities to defend us when they rarely do. We stand behind them with real support that protects them. Most people put their heads on the chopping block, and all we say is, damn, look what happened to them. But I'm still going to root for dollars, even though they did us wrong. Yeah, and that's the thing. So, and that's, I think, why a lot of athletes, not that we should be looking up to them as the pillar of our community, but they do have the platform, the voice. But a lot of them probably like, I would go and say something. However, I know my people ain't got my back. So I'm not going to put my neck out on the line and they not come to my back. And Kaepernick is a perfect example. You know how he was done in football.
Yeah, well, a lot of them are just, if they have anything to say, the best thing to say is no comment, because again, that affects their livelihood and their their child support payments and all that other stuff, because the government don't care about anything but getting that money from these athletes.
Yes, indeed. And Artemis, she says, why haven't they went after Amazon for having that Hebrews and Negro in their catalog? Well, you know why they did not do that? Because Jeff Bezos, although he is Cuban, they still see him as white, and he got a lot of money. It's like, who gonna check me, boo? Jeff Bezos ain't got no boss. He is the boss, So, and I'm sure a lot of those people order on Amazon. So they ain't gonna say nothing to him, and he ain't gonna take it down. And Damon says, forget tennis shoes, open a brokerage account. Yes, indeed. And Michael says, Sadiq, Democrats will lose both houses of Congress. Thunder, how are you doing? And Godspeed, how are you doing? He says that reparation rally was a really good turnout. Yes, I saw, and that is totally amazing. And Donovan says, hit the like button to help the algorithm. Yes, please. If y'all could share this and like and all that, I would love and appreciate you. Pamela says, some people, boules, are using fear-mongering tactics, which ain't working. And I'm glad, yes, one of those people are that Roland Martin, who says that if you guys don't vote, for lack of better words, that the Republicans will win. And it's like, that doesn't say a lot to Black people, right? So they're going to win. But like, well, how much worse off are Black people going to be if the Republicans get in? I don't know. It seems like the ruling party, which is the Democrats, if they really were interested in Black people getting something, they should have did that a long time ago. Don't try to threaten us with the Republicans, right? And Jay, how you doing? He says, dear sister, most rich Black don't want to lose their money. Absolutely. It'd be easier to, as I said, for them to stick their necks out if they knew that their people would be behind them. Super Patriot says, I'm not a big Nike person. My brother loves it. Yeah, there's a lot of us who spend, and I say us, I mean in general, a lot of money on the product Nike. And Dial Tone, you say, I hate Trump. What are you going to do about it? I mean, it's your right to hate Trump. I did not vote for Trump. I did not vote for Biden. So I just want to make that clear that I'm not a Trump fan either. I know that in society, they have told us, especially in American society, you have to be one or you have to be the other. There's such thing as neither, so.
No, or it's like what our older elders keep telling us. Y'all young people don't know politics. You got to vote. You got to vote to have change. Well, we've been doing that and nothing has been happening in regards to our situation. We keep falling further and further behind.
Absolutely. And Kareem, how you doing? He says, I agree with your points, but inflation is global and won't change with a change in U.S. representation. Says the government does nothing to put pressure on these companies, and that should be the talking point. And you're absolutely right, because, as they say, they talk about inflation being the highest that has been in like 40 years or so, but they also need to talk about actually Robert Reich, who is a left-wing, I guess, intellectual, if you will. He says, they're not telling the whole story. Yes, inflation is high, but corporations have made a 70% I guess, increase of money, right? So they made a lot of money too. So the inflation is also tied to corporate greed, for lack of better word. So absolutely. Jason, how you doing? It says now Nike is $1 billion company off of black people, but black people choose to make it bigger. Yep. But yet we see what they're doing to Kyrie, and are we going to continue to shop? Christmas is right around the corner, and a lot of people, black people, going to buy their people and themselves Nike products and this, that, and the other. So how will we respond to that? That's the question. And let's see. Michael, he says Demetra, Democrats will need at least 7 elections to recover from losing. I think you're absolutely right. It's not going to be just this one and say, okay, we get it now. I think it is going to take quite a few as well. Hello, Craig. How you doing? He says, hello, Miss K and Donovan. I always catch your show at work, and I love and appreciate you for that. And let's see here. Joanne says, Donovan, I absolutely agree. But in order for them to do anything righteous for us, it is to go against them by calling slave catchers for help, aka as police, also known as police. Yes, indeed. Facts, not feelings. How you doing? Says, peace and love, family. LeBron need to shut the hell up. If he wants to say something about Kyrie, call him privately. Yep, nah, but they always got to get out in public and make it known that, yes, Bowser, I totally agree with you. You know how they do.
I'm on the team. You ain't got to worry about me, Massa. I said, who that nigga be on that horse with?
Absolutely. Poochie, how you doing? Says Roland Martin called me out by name on YouTube for not rocking with the boule. He didn't call me out by name, but he talked about me pretty bad once. Called me all kind of fools and idiots. I was like, whoo, whatever. Yeah, so
I got called an idiot as well. So yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We should be fortunate. And Arson says, right, I expected this to be about Kyrie and Kanye too, but I'm finding out about these midterm elections so far. So for those outside like me, what can these midterms change in good or bad for Black folks? Well, I think definitely if the Democrats lose the House and the Senate, but definitely the Senate, I think it's a referendum. And I think it shows that Black people are waking up and are tired of being taken for granted. So that's what we really care about. We want certain things for us, and we have not gotten them specifically. And we're just saying we're tired of it. Let the people that you do for it, let them go to the polls for you. But they don't necessarily do that much, huh? Hispanics, they don't really come for the Democrats as much as we do. Neither do the Asians and everybody else. So your most loyal voter is like,
yeah, and then if you're outside the United States, the midterms is really kind of like Demetra said, a referendum, or it's really a report card on how the current administration is doing. If they're doing really good and the people are happy, they pick up more seats. If they're really screwing it up, they lose a lot of seats, and it kind of shows you what direction the country wants to go.
Yes, indeed. And Kiki says, nope, like I said, as she can, American, she's not going to do anything, and neither is he. I think most people have lost faith in both parties. I was reading something the other day that said like 60% of Americans want a third party. They're tired of these two. Yeah, but they have this thing, they being there in Washington, you got to pick one or the other, Democrats or the Republicans. Those are the ruling party. So that's kind of the unfortunate thing. And Michael says, Donovan, I saw your podcast. Are you sure that you don't want to move to Houston, Texas, because you are a big proponent of the Second Amendment? Did you answer that in the thing? Okay. And then Michael says, I attend the online rally. Right on. Poochie says, love everything you're doing. Bronx, New York has your back. I love and appreciate you for that. Rob T, how you doing? He says, roly poly Martin. Lord have mercy. And Tisha says, Shalomo Sand being one of them. And now, who is that, if you don't mind me asking? Obi, how are you doing? He says, what have you got to lose? Right. Well, that's what Trump asked. My African Americans, what do you have to lose? And I, on the surface, I think he raised a pretty good question. I mean, basically, he's saying the Democrats ain't going to do nothing for you. So what do you really have to lose by voting Democrat? I'll let you guys answer that. And Donovan says, if the Democrats really wanted to win and get Blacks behind them excited, it's simple. Deliver them tangibles, not symbolism. Very simple. And the LB, you say, they are trying to make Kyrie jump through all kinds of hoops to play basketball again. I am done with Nike, Adidas, and the NBA, as we really all should be, right? Because like I said, that's just really buck breaking. No, that's not good enough. We want to bend you over, boy. Want to break you in front of the whole world. It's like, And Super Patriot says, I don't hate Trump, okay? And Notorious Hebrew, how are you doing? Says they aren't mad about the movie. They're mad Kyrie can reach millions of people. The movie has been on Amazon for 4 years. Kyrie has drawn attention. Notice they don't address what was said in the documentary. Yes, and again, I probably need to watch it so I can understand, or try to understand what's going on. And our Black Americans, Mid-Atlantic Movement, how are you doing? It says, great video. And you also say we are forming our own states in the Mid-Atlantic states. Join the Black American Mid-Atlantic Movement. Now there's also a Black American Midwest Movement. Join them now. We can form our own countries. It says us in the U.S. Or is that what you're saying? Okay. And always says Obama and Biden did little to help Blacks. I think you meant Blacks. Is that what you meant? And Ray says Trump 2024, I am voting Republican straight down the line because of the jab mandate. Notorious Hebrew says the whole country is a corporation. That is true. I would agree with you on that. Dow Tony says nothing will happen. And Pamela says Bezos knows what those people are saying is nonsense, and Bezos wants that money, and so does Nike. But that company won't get a dime from me either.
You know, you know, the funny thing is, I'm not saying some of us will not, protest Nike. But the sad thing is, and if you look at our history, people are still going to buy Nikes. They're still going to buy their Air Jordans. They're still going to do those things. And it's just sad, you know?
Yes, indeed. And Artemis says a Black farmer have been trying to get their situation addressed for years of discrimination, even during the Obama administration, still no action. Totally agree. So, I don't know. Hopefully they sitting out too and saying, well, let me just go ahead and go, pick some corn or something. I don't know. And El Boogie says, forget Rolling Martin. Damon says, you mean LaRong James, another agent for Massa. Yeah, he's just like, come on, man, really? And Kiki says, like I said in the post today, I'm tired of all of this mess. Sad how so many Black people are happy about the negative things happening to these men, and what they are doing, going through rather, has nothing to do with Black people like Kanye. He's not canceled because of the slavery comment, but Black people are around here happy as if what happened to him is about the Black community. Shaking my head. But again, I have a lot of people say, oh, well, Kanye said, slavery was a choice. He didn't say that. He said 400 years of slavery was a choice. Now we know that about 250 or so years of that was chattel slavery, where our people were in chains. But from that point on, we have been in mental slavery. So I don't agree with his comment totally. But if you deduce down what he's saying, 400 years, some of that we weren't in slavery, and some of it is mental slavery. So I don't know. Notorious Hebrew says that's the point. The anti-Semitic BS is a Trojan horse. Yeah, I tend to agree with you, because it's like, gosh, everybody is that way, from the accusations, right? And Michael said, Donovan, you know that California is too liberal for you because you live in a majority Asian, Hispanic, and white state. You do realize that Black Californians are leaving your state in higher numbers.
Yeah, the funny thing, I was just telling Demetra, one of the candidates here in my local elections, it's funny how the white candidates and the Black candidates, they speak English in all their posts. Everything is in English. And so one day I just had this epiphany. I said, why are you speaking English to a community that is mostly Hispanic? You need to start putting your signs in Espanol, and you'll get a better feedback if you really want to win. And we recently did that for a candidate. And we think that by doing that, that's going to pull him through to his election victory.
Yes, indeed. Hello, Prince of Judah 79. How you doing? And Kareem says the Dems aren't worried about losing, and they campaign to lose. Dems benefit from Republican policies. If anyone reads Atlas Shrugs, the public is Eddie Willers. And so I totally agree with you. They also benefit, which is why you have to ask, why isn't Trump in jail? Didn't they say he was going to jail? They being the Democrats, they was going to make sure he pays, and he's still running around, and golfing at Mar-a-Lago and all of that.
If that was any of us that know anything about top secret documents, you are guilty until you can prove yourself innocent, and you would be locked up right now, because that's basically like spying. There's a person, a Black woman that's in jail right now. When she was in Hawaii, they got her locked down right now. But because he's a white man, he's walking around doing his thing.
Yes, indeed. And Damon, he says, can you put the link to the black shoe company in the chat? Well, the black shoe company that I got my shoes from a couple of years ago, I don't know if they're still in business. It doesn't seem like they are. I went there maybe about a year ago because I want to order another pair of shoes from them, and the link was no longer working. So I don't know. It doesn't sound like they're in business, which is unfortunate. They should still be in business because we should have bought tennis shoes from them, but I did at least buy 2 pair. So I'm glad to say that I do own 2 pair of black-owned tennis shoes. But there's another one called Enzo, E-N-Z-O, I think. It's a black-owned tennis shoe company I've seen floating around social media lately. But I guess we do probably need to find the list of the black-owned tennis shoe companies. And Jan Michael says absolutely correct. Rock deep in high-end tennis shoes manufacturers, black. And Bruce, how are you doing? This is Demetra K. I agree with you. It will take several election cycles of not voting Democrats in large percentages to force a change. In the meantime, in between time, develop an independent party. Absolutely. And welcome to the chat. And Tisha says, Shlomo Sands is an author who wrote The Invention of the Jewish People and The Invention of the Land of Israel. Okay, got it. And Letitia, how you doing? Shalom to you as well. And let's see. And Vortex, how are you? Says cancel Europeans to save the children. Okay. You also say in Britain they are doing evil experiments on brown kids in jailhouses and immigration centers. I would not doubt it at all. And let's see. Tawani says, our people are not going to miss Christmas shopping. We should. We are the number one consumer when it comes to Christmas. We are out there more than anybody spending the most money. It's like, why, right? Letitia says, total eclipse on election day. I love it. And Vortex says, I know people who lived in Britain for over 20 years and still have no rights to work or study just because they are brown. Yes, indeed. And, will it change? I don't know, but it should. Fast Not Feeling says, have not brought Nike in 30 years. And F. Tommy Hill figure 2. I did not forget what he said and how he disses blacks. I hold a grudge against white supremacy. Yes, indeed. So you're talking about when Tommy Hilfiger said that he doesn't make us close for black people. I saw, I think he was on Oprah some years ago. He said he did not say that it was a rumor. So I don't know if he said it or not, but that's definitely the word on the street. Damon says need to eclipse both parties moving forward. Sanchez 73 Day, how are you? Says Kanye comments on slavery was a choice. I get what he meant. Our ancestors decided to stay in bondage instead of freeing themselves by any means necessary. Well, I would definitely take exception to that, our ancestors, because there were a lot of our ancestors that did revolt, a lot of them. We only hear about 1 or 2, but there were slave revolts all the time. But yeah, they might have outnumbered the white people on the plantations, but they surely did not have the weaponry and things like that. And so I just try to be careful when we say that it was our ancestors chose to stay in slavery. I don't think that was the case at all. But mentally, slavery, yeah, we're doing a little bit of that today, I would say. Arsene says, thank you, Donovan, for the midterm meeting explanation. So if I get this, it's looking like Democrats are about to lose a lot. Hey, it's not like they were helping blacks, right? Very true. And Notorious Hebrew says, L wing, right wing, left wing, right wing, same filthy ass bird. Yes, indeed. And Prince of Judah says, hey, glad both of you speak truth to power. We try to. Dalton says, Trump has power. And Berean, how are you doing? It says, NBM holding it down. Shout out to Demetra K. And welcome to the chat. And he said new black media. That's what that means. Got you. And Obi says, if the Republicans win both houses, watch the left. MSM call the election stolen. And it's all they will talk about like 2016, right? So it's like, well, either side concede that the other one won fair and square. I don't know. And Pamela says Trump ain't never going to jail, and Trump ain't did no more than the rest of the oppressors that are in office. But like someone said earlier, everybody benefited from what Trump was doing. The rich, which is in the Democratic Party as well. Facts Not Feeling says Dems are running out the clock on Trump prosecution. Exactly. Enzy. So Didi, how you doing? He says it's called Enzy. Okay, so Enzy is the name of the shoe company. Let me put it up here. I knew it was something. And Key 5, I hope I said that right. How you doing? And Super Patriot says different rules for different folks. It's sick. Yeah, but that's kind of how they've governed the country, right? And Artemis, you say, we must remember that Jewism is a race. It is I think he said it is a religion. The Ethiopian Jews are the original Jews and they are not welcome in Israel. So you're saying it isn't a race. I think that's what you meant. And this up here is the name of the black owned shoe company, if you guys are interested. And Donovan says, how many of you guys know that Hitler got his playbook of how to discriminate against Jews and other forms for blacks, how blacks were treated in the U.S., here in the U.S.? Yes, indeed. That is absolutely true. Kiki says, I don't think so, because surprisingly, I've seen a lot of brothers against him as well. Admittedly, I was shocked about that. I've seen a few the Kardashian curse comments tossed around, but not very much. But yeah, I've actually seen both black men and women making disparaging comments about him. And so are we talking about, when we say him, we're talking about Kanye and Mr. D-Rob, how you doing? I know I did not say that to you verbally, but he says it's not even so much about him being white. It's that he is of the elite class. Anybody else, their security clearance is revoked and they can never hold a federal office again, right? You would think that they would prosecute Trump to stop him from doing that, but they haven't done it. So it's like, how concerned are they really about him running for office again and winning? I don't know. Anita, you say, yep. The teacher says, we now understand what Kanye meant about slavery, subliminal. Jafai says, I don't blame LeBron for not putting his stamp of approval on Kyrie. Next thing you know, LeBron's school would be closed down too. The Devils are on a rampage. And El Boogie, you say, Trump is starting his campaign, for president right after midterms. We have to break the Democrats in 2024 and beyond. And Brother Reddy says, I told my kids years ago, ain't no Christmas. Laugh out loud. Absolutely, okay? Ain't no Christmas at all. And I came in Hebrew. He said, stop shopping and celebrating these dang pagan holidays, Zion. Absolutely. And that's exactly what they are, pagan holidays, really just to separate us from our money. Super Patriot, you say, if Bernie Madoff was black, we would have been locked up from his first million. So I think he would have been locked up. Of course, you guys know Bernie Madoff is the one that ran a big giant Ponzi scheme on a lot of his investors, went to prison for stealing money from his investors, lying to him, saying he was investing in it, and he did die in prison. So yes, but Bernie Madoff got away with it for a very long time. I've actually studied Bernie Madoff, and people rang the alarm like crazy, like, hey, something ain't right here. And people were like, I know Bernie, I think he's good, right? And apparently he wasn't, even to the tune of some of his investors having heart attacks and dying, like, oh my God, I'm broke, like broke. And they're like, yeah, because he stole their money, you know? And Hardy, how you doing? Says Night and Day YouTube channel has tons of so-called black shoes and etc. Okay, it's good to know. And the Notorious Hebrew says, look up the history of Christmas. That should make you not want to celebrate. Absolutely. And Dial Tone says, don't crush me on Black Friday. Okay. How about just not be out there? I know I won't be. And Anita says, I'm watching a movie tonight with my kids. So you talk about Hebrews and Negroes. And Tawana says, is it mental slavery still in existence? I feel that is why so many blacks folks rejoice at the dehumanization of our own people. I totally agree with you. I was having this conversation with a good friend of mine today. We were arguing back and forth. He was trying to tell me how Kyrie kind of, he brought it upon himself, and, and Kanye was wrong for what he said. I said, man, you better learn how to start listening to what's being said and stop jumping on the bandwagon of the oppressor so quick. Let's not be so quick to do that, right? So I totally agree with you, Tawana. And Pamela, he says, ML Neeks Design Studio, he says 99. Okay, so here are the shoe names that you got. Yeah, Nigas, they've been around for a while. I've seen their shoes. So these are some of the black-owned shoe companies. And Rain says mental slavery is a choice. Just saying. I totally agree with you. And Donovan, I'll let you answer Michael's question since he seems to be speaking to you. And Donovan says, have you guys noticed that MSNBC is moving more to the right? Like some of the hosts they brought on same party news network. And they also said that Shepard Smith, he used to be on Fox News. He was went to MSNBC and they just fired him. And they said that they made MSNBC was supposed to be more diverse because he is from the LGBTQ community. And they also fired him along with Tiffany Cross, from what I understand. So there you have it. And Pamela says, yes, they absolutely did. And that's why they aren't doing anything but putting on a show. Talk about the Democrats in regards to Trump. And Kareem says, I thought about Kanye's slavery comment, and I wrestled with the idea of slavery being assimilation into white culture, but remaining on the fringe. MLK realized this later in life. Yes. So you meant to say wrestled with. Okay, got you. And Christopher, how you doing? It says Hitler also knew who the real Jews were. And Notorious Hebrew says, read Deuteronomy 28, and that will explain why Ye said slavery was a choice. Ye is in a spiritual war right now.
Yeah, you know, the funny thing is when, you know, all this Jew thing about how they, you know, how it was wrong for Kyrie to say what he did, whatever. When I actually asked some of my Jew friends, well, what is Israel's policy toward the black Jews in Israel? They immediately just left or didn't answer the question. I was like, you guys keep talking about racism and how bad it is and how Jews get treated, but let's talk facts. What is the policy in Israel toward black Jews? They never want to answer that because they know they're just as racist, and what they're doing is no different than what anybody else does in regards to conversations about other groups.
Absolutely. And Daniel, how are you? Says, did you attend the reparations rally yesterday? No, I did not attend. But if there is another one next year, I do want to think about going to the rally. I heard it was a wild success. I did see a lot of footage, so I'm glad that many people did show up to hear what was going forth from the stage in regards to reparations. And so I'm sure a lot of other people who were not there took notice of that. The people like Roland Martin says, yeah, y'all little reparations rally, you know, all of that. So I'm sure they took notice. Kareem, you say the GOP and Dems both fight against a third party. They are two sides of the same trick coin. Yep. Notorious Hebrew says Bernie Madoff with all of the money. Yep, that is the joke. Not really funny, though. I mean, it's funny to us, but to the people who lost all that money, they trusted him. And what was it? I just slipped my mind. The SEC, Stock Market Securities Exchange Commission, they were warned about it over and over and over again. And they were like, Bernie's good. We know Bernie ain't out there doing no chicanery. He's good. And he was out there doing chicanery. So Dalton says Trump likes to own his own cornfields. And Mr. D. Robbins says if they lock up Trump, then that means if they do something wrong, they would be subjected to punishment too. They'll never do that. So they just drag that out as a fear tactic to get us to vote. And not even as a fear tactic. They do it to make it seem like, oh, we doing something. It's the carrot. It's the carrot that they're dangling in front of the American people, like, oh, we're working on. It's like, well, damn, how long does it take to even make a decision to even bring the man in? Y'all playing games at this point. Anita says, what the deuce? He says, what the deuce is Roland talking about? We ain't getting nothing now, Lord. Yeah, that was the fear tactics, you know, if the Republicans get in and black people are really screwed. And Michael, he says, and brown people are care about their own race. So you talk about Hispanics, is that what you're saying? And LS says, well, Tiffany Cross dropped the Dems because MSC dropped her. Well, MSNBC, well, I think now she should say, I was going hard in the paint for MSNBC, who is, you know, a left wing leaning news publication. It was like, you did that, fired on black men, talking all that crap. And it's like, they don't love you either, sis. That's why I said I titled with friends. How many of us have them? Like she thought that she was in like playing with the Democrats. It's like, well, they wasn't your friend either. They used you and they booted you out the door. So
well, and if you look at her past, she has a very troubling past with her coworkers and stuff. She's very disruptive. If you look at, even she said that in her book, one of her books, that somebody threw a keyboard at her one time. A coworker threw a keyboard at her. So she's very disruptive. But the thing is, what do we say on this show all the time, Demetra? When white people are done with their tools, they break them. They break them. And that's what they're done. They're done with their, so it's like, click, moving on to the next one.
Yeah. And let's see here. Dial Tony says Madoff deserved total agony for years. Yeah, he took a lot of people's money. A lot of people's money, and it was just gone, you know. Kiki says, but here's something I keep wondering. Black men have been experiencing these types of circumstances in America pertaining to sports. All of this money they've made collectively, why haven't they gotten together and formed sports themselves for themselves? I mean, good gracious, I saw Jay-Z collaborating with Bezos about something. Why aren't these brothers coming together? Yeah, they're trying to buy the Washington Commanders, the football team. I guess that was the word on the street. How true it is, I don't know. But yeah, as Farrakhan called them highly paid slaves. That's what they are, right? Kareem says everyone should read the books Propaganda and Manufacturing Consent. Okay, and Ella says Shaq is stepping, Barkley is fetch it. That is funny. Stacy, how you doing? Says I have some shoes from Migos. Okay, and Bruce, he says MSNBC is making 2024 moves. They are shifting to the right. It would appear that way, right? And John, if I didn't already, how you doing? He says we are crying crocodile tears for the same J people. We cannot even call out. Very true. And,
right. And you know what? That thing about they're going to the right, MSNBC, because I honestly believe that the Democrats are going to reach out to the Latino community, which is more conservative. So they would have to move closer to the right to get those voters.
Yep. And William, how you doing? It says just finished watching Hebrews and Negroes. It's really a great documentary. It's 209 minutes of Y DNA evidence, geography, genealogy, history, and language. It's a must watch. I plan on watching. I'll probably watch it this week. And Beverly says Black Friday boycott, Nike, Adidas, and all of them, right? And Jafia says Kyrie didn't say anything. Baltone says the true Jews were Black. Okay. Rain says facts, Donovan. And Artemis says, Demetra, you look, oh, well, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that. He says, I look 10 years younger. Well, thank you. Sunlight says, I have a pair of Nigos sneakers too. And let's see here. Ezel, how you doing? It says slavery was not a choice. Survival was a choice. Yes, I totally agree with you on that. And let's see here. I'm going to skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. I see I'm a little bit behind. Ridiculous thoughts. How are you? Says, I think Tiffany Cross got fired because she failed to corral Black voters for the Democrats. They got rid of her sooner than later. I think that's plausible as well. You know, she was supposed to, when she took the shot at that Tariq Nasheed and the late Kevin Samuels, basically saying, you know, and I was a very backwards comment, like, y'all Black men, y'all stupid for listening to them. They don't know what they're talking about. Get behind Black women. It's like, ugh. And it's like, sister, do you know that the Black race, and y'all know this, but I'm just saying to her, is really the only race that is driven by matriarchs, by the women, opposed to the men. And so it's like you're sitting up there admonishing Black men, telling Black men to get behind Black women. It's like, I don't know about that. Not saying that Black women are less than, but it's like that's the problem. You want Black men to take a back seat and you subjugate them like children. That's not how it works. So I don't know. And let's see here. Where did I leave off? Okay. And Notorious Hebrew says performance, politics. Yes, indeed. That guy from Texas, how are you doing? And K-Man the Hebrew says the true people of Israel is they're acting as spiritual cover to the fake Jews in the land. Okay, and Artemis says, Donovan, you're absolutely correct about how Israel is treating the Ethiopian original Jews, mistreating them, denying them with the American tax dollars. I'm just saying. And Christopher, you say Shaq played the movie in his New Jersey theater. Yes, he actually played the movie in his New Jersey theater. Sounds like when it first came out, it was 2019. It's like, were you mad about that, Shaq? Because you made some money off of it too, right? Stacy says we don't have any friends. Absolutely. Jason says they use her to attack Black men. And then how did that work out, right? And then El Boogie says, Donovan, are you an Army veteran? If so, where did you do basic and serve? I was in basic at Fort Leonard Wood and was stationed at Fort Carson in Colorado. I think it was 88 M. Did you answer that already? Got you. And let's see here. And The Rock, how you doing? It says, why was Tiff fired from MSNBC? There's a whole lot of reasons, but sounds like MSNBC is basically saying, well, her views no longer align with them. And I'm paraphrasing, but some are thinking it's because when she went on Charlemagne the God show, whatever the name of his show is, she said that Florida was literally the D word of the country, and that it looks like a D and all of that. And so some things like that, I don't think they were in love with, but it also sounds like she was attacking Tucker Carlson, which is also on Fox News, which you would think they would be very opposing in their viewpoints. And she also said that as a civil war is going on or something like that. So I guess they didn't really like some of the stuff she was saying. But I'm sure it was something totally different from all of that. And Obi says a full black party is needed to rein in the thieves in the White House. Yes, indeed. And Arson says so many unaddressed questions. If they feel they deserve these apologies for what they claim was said, well, where's the apology for what actually was done to blacks and continues to be? Well, they don't have to give us that. Like, who's going to make them do it? Who's going to make them? And Kareem says, don't buy the Jay-Z BS that this dude owns less than 1% of the Nets and screwed a lot of black brownstone owners. The same would happen with Bezos. I totally agree with you. I mean, Jay-Z, he owns a very, very small percent just for the sake of saying he does, right? All right, so I'm going to skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. Jay the Informant says, hold on, Ice Cube is doing what black people say we must do. Owner of sports team, his label, a record label, movies, and business ventures give him credit and copy the playbook on a small scale. Okay, and Letitia says, Hollywood blacks speak in subliminals. Yeah, they don't want to get too far off the chain, right? And let's see here. Kiki says that would be sad because the truth of is a black league would be inferior, wouldn't be inferior at all. Look at all of the players are in these leagues. If anything, if they come together and form their own sports organizations, they'd be superior. I totally agree. And Haroon, I hope I said that. Haroon, I hope I said it right, but I know I didn't. So forgive me. Says, I love you, girl. You don't know that the black woman is God. Oh, yes, I do know. It says, don't you know the black woman is God? Said it is the black woman is going to bail us out of this. One other thing, Jew has disrespected and always has Latinos are not our friend. Yeah, I do know that the black woman is God. Thank you. Even though I know a lot of black men or some disagree with that. So when I said that our community is very matriarchal opposed to being patriarchal, every other community is actually the opposite. And so what I mean is, yes, it is going to take the wisdom of black women to help deliver us, but it's not to me that black men need to get behind us, right? I just personally think that's a little bit backwards. But I love and appreciate you too. And Stacy says they should have smoke for Jeff Bezos. He was selling the documentary on Amazon and still is selling it. And John, he says Hebrew and Jew is not synonymous. The Jew is the Eastern European Ashkenazi, as the Hebrews are the ancient Black African peoples. Well, thank you for that. Studio, how you doing? Says, remember when blacks were Egyptians too and Cleopatra was black? What happened to that? Well, as far as I know, she still is, right? Or was, kind of, regardless of what Hollywood says. And Pudge, nice, I hope I said that right. How you doing? Says she got fired. Yeah, she did. And I'm going to skip down just a little bit so I can catch up. And a guy from Texas says, is Joy Reid next? I don't know, but I have heard people asking that question. She's kind of like one of the last ones. They're saying she's one of the last true black voices on TV. It's like, now y'all know Joy be tripping with black people too.
Mm-hmm. Well, did you hear when the day that Tiffany Cross got fired, she was doing the sister girl routine? And I don't think that's going to fly with the network. Sister girl, that's how we get down. Sister girl. Nobody wants to see that. If you're a professional, be a professional. There's a time and a place to do all the shucking and jiving. And I think that she's going to be going really soon because she did that on air defiantly.
Yes, indeed. And K-Man, he says, you read all of it together. And which was that? All right, so let me go ahead and skip down just a little bit. I want to catch up. Kimberly, how you doing? Says, it seems to me Shaq has to degrade or denounce Kyrie to prove his loyalty to whomever he does business with and had contracts with. Yeah, Shaq, he's really just, I mean, we also, as always, known Shaq to kind of waffle the fence on raccooning. Of course, you know, he brought him to the Papa John's franchise, even though the owner was running around using the N-word and stuff. It's like, okay, the pizza was nasty. Before we caught him saying the N-word, and it's going to be nasty afterwards. I don't care who owns it. I will not purchase anything from Papa John's. So there. All right. So again, I'm going to catch up to you the comments in just a minute. Mr. Piebrain says we can't do anything until we own our own distribution. I totally agree with you. And let's see here. Midrash, how you doing? Says, I'm just coming on the live. Kyrie mentioning we are people of Yah is dangerous to the narrative. Yes, indeed. And Ace Sam, she says, I was in Fort Leonard Wood, Missouri, and Fort Carson as well.
Where are my Air Force folks at? Golly, all these Army people here. I'm starting to itch. No. Wait, Demetra's starting to get hot now. You guys know she supports the troops.
Yes, it's like, ooh. No, shut up, Donovan. No, I'm getting a hot flash. I'm of the age of hot flashes, y'all. So forgive me. I'm literally melting here. And Donovan says the big question is vote what is best for you, but how many of you are going to give the Democratic Party your vote? Very good question, Donovan. Artemis says just think about how the J beat down Mel Gibson when he made his statement. He has not been here or seen of lately. Yeah, he got off the rail. And but wasn't he in some other stuff after that? I think
he was, but he kind of stays in the producer role behind the scenes more so. But I think recently he had a couple of movies that come out that were really under the radar type.
Yes, indeed. And hello, let the redeemed say so. And hey, Nye, how are you? Says Martin and Malcolm gave Black people the blueprint how to unite. Yes, they did. Jafai says, why are we concerned about what Jeff Bezos is doing? We need to remain focused on what is happening in our community. I agree with you. Let's see here. Studio says, Joy Reid is not Black American with deep roots in the U.S. culture. She is from Haiti. Yeah, and a lot of her stuff is just really problematic. And what she's saying is like, okay, Joy, her, Jamel, and, the rest of them.
She's really got to work on that hairline. She really does. It's way back here.
I ain't gonna say nothing. Unless it says ish means not really. So are they? Oh, got you. I got what you're putting down. And let's see, Ridiculous Thought says Goldie Taylor wrote a disgusting hit piece on Black men and Rolling Stones. Not sure this will help win over Black men for either side. Yeah, Goldie Taylor is another one of them. Democratic Shield. She's been around a long time on MSNBC, walking tall and talking tough. But it's like, when are these Black women gonna learn and understand that Black men voted just as much as y'all see how much I'm sweating? That is ridiculous. Voted just as much as Black women did. And so it's like y'all running around insulting Black men and then wonder why Black men are not so excited about the Democrats. It's crazy. It's like, get these Black women, on the subjection, get them on the same page. At least don't talk crap about Black men right before voting. It's like, that is so stupid. I don't get it. It's almost like that, that boisterous Black woman. See, I told y'all, Black men ain't nothing. Look at them. They're going to go ahead and throw the election and make it bad for all of us. Y'all just need to get on board. What's wrong with you, fool? That's kind of what I hear when I hear this admonishment from Black women in that sort of a media, if you will.
Did you hear that? Have you ever seen that video where that one girl was in the car and she was like talking to her daughter? She was like, as long as you got your own car, got your own place, it don't matter what a nigga gotta say.
I didn't see that one, but okay.
I'm gonna send it to you because it's just ridiculous.
Got you. Mr. Forgiven, how you doing? It says the rabbinical court. Oh boy, you put up a whole bunch of words and I'm gonna mess up. Obadiah Alliance ruled that the LGBO tribe, 70% of African Americans have the LGBO ancestry, are descendants of the ancient Israelites. Just a fact. Okay, got you. Notorious Hebrew says Buck Dancing Giant. You talk about a Shaquille and Midrash. She says TC got what she deserved. Talking about Tiffany Cross. She played Uncle Reema's part. You can't sell your people out and have a good end. And that's the other thing too. Our people that get off into the media and get the clowning and step and fetch it and all that, they actually need to study that. A step and fetch it. Step and fetch it did the same thing, known as the laziest man in the world. He got paid a lot of money by white supremacy. In fact, he was the first millionaire actor in United States. And then when white supremacy was done with him, they said, okay, Negro, thank you. And he tried to come back to Black people, and Black people were like, nah, we good on you too. You really did a number on the image of Black people. So he died broken, alone, and was an alcoholic before that. So yeah, you can't screw over your people. And they're talking about, hey, big head, how y'all doing? Can't do it. All right, and so let's see here. Kiki says, yeah, our community is matriarchal because they wanted it that way. Black women are the only race of women they like to call the leaders in their community. The rest are men. As a Black woman, I'm tired of being measured next to men. We can be strong with men. They got us messed up. I'm tired of this trope. Absolutely. So that's actually where I was getting at. When you hear her say, get behind Black women, it's like, nah, sister, that's not how they work. That's not how they work. And all right, let's see here. I'm just gonna go down to people I have not seen just yet. Honey Chick, how you doing? Says I used to live in Fort Carson, Colorado, too. T-Sean says, Hakeem Jeffrey said, vote like your life depends on it. Is like, ain't y'all been telling us that already? The vote like our life depends on it, and what's happened so far, right? So I don't know. Y'all tell me. And let's see, Sister B, how you doing? Says Joy Reid is not Haitian. Her parents are immigrants. Father from Democratic Republic of Congo. Her mother is from Guyana. Okay, so yeah, I've been hearing people say that she is Haitian, but I guess that is not right. So thank you for the correction. Stacy says I don't buy Papa John's either. Yeah, it's like ugh. T-Rock says I did 4 years at the Air Force Academy and 24 years in the Air Force. Wow, so you've been there a long time as well. I'll let y'all go ahead and tell y'all war stories. Let's see here. Yes. Oh, thank you, Pudge Isaiah. But I am hot. Can y'all see that? Just like it's sweating. It's the change of life for some of us women. Not terribly mad at it. It just be too hot sometimes. El Boogie said, Demetra, if you let me hold your hand, you will cool off. Oh, okay. I'll consider that. Ray says, I'm voting in 2 days, but not for the Democrats. Yes, it is voting in 2 days, November 8th. Curtis Bozeman, how are you doing? And let's see here. Hey, Nye says, Black people have always followed God. Just agree on freedom and stand for it. I like that. And Christopher says, the real fear is the book of Revelations, chapter 13, verses 9 and 10. It's simple. Yes, Brother Joe, I don't see him on here. I think I know where he's at, though, today. He often references Revelations. Is it Revelations 13 or Revelations 18? 18 and 14, I think he does.
18 and 14.
Yes. All right. And so let's see. Caprice 4100, how you doing? Says shaming people never works. Yeah, but that's what they've been trying to do, and we fall for it, right? Jay Bubba says you sweating like Keisha Lance's bottoms. Does she sweat a lot? This is absolutely crazy. And you know, it's raining and stuff here. I don't know, maybe it's just humid, but horrible. Lamarcus, how you doing? Long time no see. He says D&D, what's good, y'all? Yep, long time no see. Donovan, are you still overseas? Unfortunately, he's back.
I wish, but I'm plotting to head back over there. I'm plotting already.
Yes, indeed. Let the redeemed say so. He says, God hated Esau, and who is Esau today? Girl, I am always sweating too. I want to jump in the freezer sometimes. Yeah, sometimes it's bad. It's like, what in the hell, literally, is going on? All right, let's see. Tawani says Shaquille O'Neal gets called out for screening a controversial documentary at his Newark Cityplex 12 theater and then blasting Kyrie Irving for supporting it by Rake Ball, John Rodgers, November 6, 2022. So you're saying that was a quote by somebody that called him out. Yeah, it's like, how come he's not just as loud about that as he has been talking about that of Kyrie? And then he also has some choice words for Kanye, who tweeted, I guess, what he said about Kyrie, and then Shaq told him basically, mind your business and all of that. Kimberly says, if Black Americans are Jews and Israelites by bloodline, shouldn't we be protected? A group just like those who are saying they are the true Jew, but they're not. Yeah, you would think so. And Blocka, what's going on? He says, it seems to me like Joy Reid was threatening her own company that she works for with that sister girl rules, mumbo jumbo, referring to her Tiffany Cross segment. Yeah, you know, Joy Reid is very upset about what happened to Tiffany Cross as well. But it's like, I mean, I don't know. She's probably like, damn, am I next? All right. And I'm going down, moving down, Jay the Informant. You say, Demetra, I'm in Houston too. Looks like we can have a red wave too. Hidalgo time is up, and Turner too. Both are financial criminals. And from what I understand, Sylvester Turner, this is his last term. So he can run again anyway, but yeah, Hidalgo, it sounds like it might be the end of the road for her. She is the, I guess, the county judge. She's kind of made a lot of mishaps, if you will. So,
what about Hot Wheels? How's he doing?
I don't know. That's going to be a tough one. You know, the Hot Wheels being the governor of Texas, it's going. I don't know. I don't like Governor Abbott. I'll just keep it real with you. And let's see here, moving right along. Who else came on here? I just want to catch up a little bit, then I'm going to start reading you guys' comments again. I got to the end. Oh, my God. Okay. So Notorious Hebrew says,
real quick before you get into that, JD Informant says, also panel and chat, did everyone see the debate between Judge Joe Brown and Michael Eric Dyson?
Judge Joe Brown and Michael Eric Dyson, are they running for the?
Yeah, I didn't see that one.
Are they running for the? Because I know Judge Joe Brown is running for the mayor of Memphis. So is Michael Eric Dyson as well? I didn't know that. I did know that Judge Joe Brown is running for the mayor, and he's kind of said some things were deemed to be controversial, but I didn't know that Michael Eric Dyson was the contender. So that's very interesting. Very interesting. So you're saying no, Notorious Hebrew. Okay, so that's news to me. All right, so let's see here, and let the Redeemed say so. He says, I don't get it. Why can't black men support women running for office? We support them. No, I mean, absolutely, we should support black women that are running for office. And I think black men should do that. I think, though, that we should not, as a people, I don't care who it is, black man or black woman, get caught up on just the fact that they're black. Because let's take Kamala Harris. I know you guys are going to say she's not black, but, you know, for sake of argument, let's say she is. She says that she's part black. A lot of people vote on her for the strength that she's black. How's that working for us? You know, so let the Redeemed say so. I know you're not saying that, but I'm just saying in general, a lot of times we vote for people because they're black, and then those black folks get in office, stay in office 30, 40, 50 years, and they never help black people. So we need to get qualified black people, whether it's a woman or a man in office, that's really going to be unapologetically black when it comes to legislating and creating policies for us. And JD Informant says Hot Wheels is up double digits. So that means that he's probably going to remain in office over that of Beto O'Rourke, who is running on the Democratic side. So, you know, there you have it. Only panel player says, I was talking with someone, and they said if the Democrats can just get more seats, they're gonna, I think you meant, says, I said, didn't they say if we could get the House, Senate, and President, we could do for the black community? Yeah, they always say that, and then they don't, right? And so you guys are saying no, so he's not running against that of Michael Eric Dyson, right? Is that what you're saying? JD Informant says it was a debate on the state of black community and moving forward. Got you. I didn't see that. I'd like to see it, because I know Michael Eric Dyson, he had the big words, and you know, he's the hip hop professor, and he also a big Democratic shield as well. So, you know, yeah, as you said, Pudge Nice, he is a phony, talking big words and ain't really saying much of nothing. And Rainey says they said that they are Jewish, Google-ish somewhat, to some extent, in a way, not exactly. Oh, I got you. And OBE says no one voted for Kamala. Well, you know, maybe they didn't vote for Kamala. They voted for Joe Biden, and Kamala was on the ticket, but they used Kamala as to having the black woman on the ticket with Joe Biden. So that's kind of how that went.
And if you think about what's going on, and it's not to pile on the black women, but the Democratic Party actually sees that having a black woman candidate, black candidates in general, is not working like the Obama wave happened. You know, they thought that with black women, it would be a new wave with Kamala, but we also know that black voters overwhelmingly rejected Kamala, and then she was appointed to be vice president. So nobody really wanted her. And then look at her performance as a black woman and the vice president. We can't get a George Floyd bill. Anything that pertains to black people, we can't get it done. But when they were signing that Asian crime bill, who was right there claiming to be Asian? It was Kamala Harris.
Oh, absolutely. And of course we know that, but you know, it just, to me at this point, it's just silly to keep saying, oh, she's not black. She's not black. I mean, at this point, if she was purple, is it helping us? You know what I mean? And hello, F the people, the peep. I think that's what this is. FK the peep. How you doing? And LS, she says, Michael Eric Dyson need to run somewhere and sit down. Yeah, he's a hot mess. Stacy said it's not working. All skin folk ain't kin folk. Yes, indeed. And so that's to the point of, you know, supporting black women. I love black women. Hello, I'm on. But I think that we need to support black women that are going to support her people, right? You can't keep saying black women are the backbone of the Democratic Party and they don't deliver for their people, you know? And Artemis says, I would like to see term for these career politicians like running water. They stay idle for too long. They become stagnant, no good for anyone. Vote them out. I totally agree. There should be some term limits imposed. And yes, y'all, thank you, Marvin, for reminding people with a thumbs up. Also, we have ways to donate to the channel if you guys want to help, like, subscribe, become a member, and all that. John Henry says, technically, that was not a debate, and Judge Joe Brown made more sense in his commentary than Michael Eric Dyson. Yeah, I love debates, so I would love to check it out. And Mansa Musa, how are you doing? Loving the show. Well, thank you so much. We love you being here. William says, when will Jeff Bezos be asked to go before the Simon Wiesenthal Center? Probably never. Jeff Bezos, like, who gonna check me, boo? Y'all ain't gonna make me do nothing. All right, and T-Rock says, yes, Donovan, the service academies are tough, elite, and the best universities in the country. All right, so y'all still having that powwow about service. And FK the Peep, he says, Democrats, they will not help Hebrew of America. And Stacy say, no, it's not. And Thunder says, question, how are the elections going? When will we get some results and numbers? Usually a lot of them come back that same night, but those that are close, maybe a couple of days, and in some cases, a couple of weeks. So that just remains to be seen. But I think some of the ones with a wide margin, those we'll see right away. So, but the one in Georgia with Warnock and Walker, it's so close. I don't know if they'll call that one that night. I don't know. I wouldn't see why they would, but we'll see. Blocka, you say, Michael Eric Dyson reminds me of the jail convict with the big words on in living color. I totally agree with you. And Super Patriot said he needs to run and stay down. And Rain says Kamala Harris' biblical tribe is Elamites, the East Indians. Okay. And Common Man A, how you doing? Let's see. And Stacy says she has done nothing. Yeah, I mean, where is Kamala, right? They try her out every once in a while, but she's like, where is she at, you know? And El Boogie says Kamala is black when it's convenient. Exactly. Damon says, you mean KKK Kamala? Keep her in the house with Massa. Yeah, they tried to put her out there, but it's like, girl, you messing it up out here. You need to come on in here and put this flour on these butter biscuits so they don't burn.
And aren't they even talking about possibly dropping Kamala in 2024 for maybe a Hispanic or something like that? I've heard rumors that because she didn't really bring anything to the ticket, so they're like, you know what, let's cut our ties. We're not losing anything.
Yeah, they're saying that, you know, those on the left are not in love with bringing Kamala back into the fold. Hell, they're not even that enthused about bringing Joe Biden back into the fold. But they're, you know, actually it was Bill Maher. He was saying that he doesn't think, and he's a big time Democratic person as well, he doesn't think they should bring Kamala back, which would be a first, I think, in a long time or even in history, that the vice president was not invited back to run again. So that's definitely interesting. And FK the P, you said we need to get more think tanks in the community. Yes, indeed. And, you know, this is sort of like a think tank I would like to think. And Midrash says Dyson went after Jordan Peterson in a debate, calling him an angry white man, and has been trying to get Peterson to interview him. So Jordan Peterson, is that the guy that took his wife out of here? Is that the one we're talking about, the same one? Correct me if I'm wrong. And Damon says, any word on Haiti in regards to, because there's a lot going on with Haiti. And James, how you doing? Says, hey, sister. He says, get no holler from me until you sisters change. Oh, challenge. I'm going to put this up. Challenge Candace Owens and her self-hating crap right now. Y'all talking about everything except her questions. Are you scared of her? You sisters all over black men and Democrats. That is that and this. What about her blanket disrespect? Well, and how you doing, by the way? Welcome to the show. So anybody who knows me knows that I am not a Candace Owens fan at all. You can check my record, my videos on this channel and the African Diaspora News channel that I constantly take Candace Owens to task. I do not like Candace Owens. She is the ultimate grifter. But I always say, too, I'm not mad at her. She's getting a bag off of white people, telling them the things that they want to hear and they believe about black people. But yeah, I mean, Candace Owens, she's a grifter. I don't think she adds anything positive to black people at all, even though she thinks she's speaking up on behalf of black people. She's only doing it to make it seem like, oh, you know, because she doesn't like the Democrats. Of course, she rallies on behalf of the Republicans. She really loves Trump. She tried to bring Kanye into the fold, and look what she did. She dropped him like a hot potato, and even also said that I'm not going to interview him on my show. And it's like, really, big back Candace Owens, you say you do whatever you want, and you won't bring Kanye on your show? Okay. And see, Mellow Factor, how you doing? He says, Michael Eric Dyson and Joe Brown, both kind of blabbermouths. Yeah, two old coots, you know, that what they're debating about, I really don't know. But it's like, yeah, okay. I like Judge Joe Brown, though. He does not mix words at all. Super Patriot says Biden used her to get elected. Yep, sure did. As we all know, Kamala, she lost her bid to become the president when she was campaigning, ran out of money, and staff didn't like her. It was just a whole lot going on. And so they brought her onto the Democratic ticket and they used her.
Yeah, but isn't that funny? She ran out of money mismanaging her campaign and being toxic. But out of all of the 26 candidates that people would have chosen, they chose even Joe Biden was out of money and at the bottom of the primaries. And it took Black people to save his butt, and he delivered nothing.
Yep, and FK, the Peep, he says, why Black attack non-democratic candidate? And
because we're brainwashed in general. Most of us are brainwashed. Blue, no matter who. When you hear people say that stuff, they're brainwashed.
Right, that's why, you know, and we don't even question why, right? Dial Tone Crazy says Biden will drop anytime. Notorious Hebrew says Joe ain't getting back in. Kamala ain't got to worry. I bet money she's ready to go. Yeah, she probably ready to get cut loose so she could go and do her book deals and go on her tour and make a lot of other money on the side, right? That guy from Texas says Trump supporters are happy Elon Musk isn't stopping hate speech on Twitter. Yeah, he's facing a little bit of backlash himself. A lot of companies, advertisers have suspended their advertising until I guess they said they can figure out what it is Elon Musk is going to do with the hate speech. But it's like, come on, you know, hate speech is always been around. He did fire quite a few people, and they're saying that the people that they fired was on top of the hate speech and correcting information that was wrong about campaigns and politics and stuff. I know it's a mess over there on Twitter. People are having a heyday, but yeah, Trump supporters are happy about that. And some of our people are happy too, because it's a lot of Black people who get censored and stuff for saying certain things. And so, yeah, it is now a free fall on Twitter. I will say that. And Milliskew7, I hope I said that right. How you doing? It says so much BS on this channel, so many false statements. Oh my God. Sorry you feel that way, but how you doing anyway? And Studio says Candace Owens is not disrespecting any Black man. What is he talking about? I don't know, y'all. I'm just reading some of the comments. Midrash says Jordan Peterson is a Canadian psychologist. Oh, he is really big on YouTube. Tons of I think that's followers. Yeah, I thought that was the guy that Lacey Peterson's husband. That's what I thought it was. And at FK the Pete says Candace free speech. Yeah, if you say so. The Lonely Banter, how you doing? And Pudge Nice, she said Candace makes good points. Super Pager says she dropped him. Wow, yeah, she says she's not going to interview him. Dalton says she is. I liked her. Laugh out loud. Tito, he said, how you doing? And Dalton says, I never liked her. Notorious Hebrew says she presents herself as an angel of light. And who was that, Candace? Paul Ian, how you doing? Says, just watch when the Democrats lose this Tuesday. They're going to flip out and blame the Black men, and we should wear that like a badge of honor. It's the beginning of real change. I totally agree with you on that. Studio says Kanye brought Candace Owens' husband social media company. Yeah, Pollard. They're saying that I don't know if the sale is complete, but it sounds like that's what was going on. So I don't know. It's a hot mess, all of it. But as I said, she's a big time grifter. The Rock, you said Candace Owens ain't Black American. She is Caribbean. Okay. Tito says Joe Brown is okay. Yeah, I like Joe Brown. I mean, he don't bite his tongue at all. Rainey says Kamala Harris' father is half East Indian, one half white. All right. And Michael, so you're talking to Diamond, said, did you receive my email last week to schedule a meeting? And the Lonely Banner says Joe Biden has delivered nothing. Yeah, right. Laugh out loud. And FK the Peep, he says Black Lives Matter, save his bank. And let me see. Hey, Nye, he says, I know exactly what the term the good old days mean. Lord have mercy. And Michael said, Donovan and Demetra, I know how to convince your people to migrate back to the South. I think the South, like Ghana, Tanzania, etc. Well, do tell. And Marvin, you say, I'm not mad at you either. I wouldn't be a Candace Owens fan for nothing in the world. Yeah, I mean, she's getting money. She probably doesn't even mean any of the hardly any of that stuff she says. She's making a lot of money. I see a lot of white people saying, oh, Candace should run for president. Oh, she's so great. She speaks the truth. And it's like, nah, she just affirms your racial bias and says, see, it's a negress. She's saying it, so it must be true. So she's making a lot of money off of that. I mean, damn, she's a grifter. She actually really grifting white people, if you think about it. Stacey says, well, next time Joe will get nothing. Talk about Joe Biden. Studio says there can be no hate speech when you have freedom of speech. And, well, you know, it ain't always free for us. Mallow Factor says, I'm leaving Scott Peterson. That's Scott Peterson. That's his name. I don't know why I'm talking about some Jordan Peterson. Yes, Scott Peterson that killed his wife. Yes, Lacey Peterson. You are absolutely right. And Mansa Musa, he says, loving the information and the conversation. And you're also excellent on the eyes. Thank you so much. And Artemis says, the man that claimed
he could have been talking to me. No, I'm messing with you. I'm messing with you.
I should not be so presumptuous. He could have been. Artemis says, that man that claimed credit for saving Joe Biden was Big Jim Clyburn. You need to hold his butt to the flame. He needs to be held accountable. I totally agree. He's also up for re-election, but I don't know. It doesn't sound like he's going to lose. We know that Marcel Dixon was challenging him on the Democratic side. Marcel didn't fare so well for a whole bunch of reasons. But yes, you're absolutely right. Jim Clyburn did push Joe Biden over the top when he visited South Carolina. He got all the Negroes on board to get behind Joe Biden because Joe Biden campaign was dead in the water before that. So we can be really mad at Jim Clyburn fish fry. And Rain says, nothing from nothing leaves nothing. Democrats going to have something if they want another vote from me. I love it. Let the redeemed say so, says Kamala prances out her AKA colors, and she hasn't done anything for us at all, but I like the college loan help. Yeah, I guess it's got to count for something. Marvin, you say, Candace Owens thumbs down. Yes, indeed. All right. And K-Man, the Hebrew, says, wear it with honor. Rain says, black men should wear it and wear it well. Yeah, I think so. I think you pat yourself on the back if you help prove to the Democrats that we do matter. You need to, be nice to us as well. And let's see here. Mansa Musa, he says, the only thing I agree with Candace Owens on was her stance on the transgender having mental issues. Yeah, I mean, I'm not really familiar with her stance on that, but I'd imagine she has a whole lot to say about it. FK the Peep says, we love your show. Keep it going. Well, I love and appreciate you all for being here. Super Patriot says, Owens for president. Nope. But that's what a lot of people say, though, right? Notorious Hebrew says, she's the new step in fashion. Candy Owens. Yes, her day will come as well. I mean, you can't continue doing what you're doing against black people and not pay for it. She'll say something salty about white people that they'll never forgive her over, and it'll be done, right? And Mansa Musa says, no talking to you. He's talking to me. He ain't talking to you. And let's see, William says, I agree with Candace Owens on going after the BLM grift set. Yeah, but she ain't really want to be doing that, right? I mean, I agree. BLM is a big time grift organization, but damn, maybe it takes one to know one type of thing, Dial Tony says, Biden, okay. And The Rock says, Demetra, you are easy on the eyes, sister. It looks like you may have some junk in the trunk. Platters aboard.
Demetra has drumstick legs. You can only have drumstick legs when you got something to support back there.
It's all right. Nothing to write home about. Her artist says, tell Walter it's time to make some shirts about wearing the Democrats lost Tuesday like a badge of honor. You know what? That would be a good idea for somebody to make shirts that say, black man. I don't know what it is. Think of black.
I'm not
man.
black.
Right, whatever, because I mean, they discounted you as black men for a long time. Black woman is the backbone of the Democratic Party. You fish-eyed fools, sucker black men. Now I was like, wait a minute now. You mean to tell me we need them? Okay. Stacey, put on some good red lipstick. Lower your blouse just a little bit. And hey, big head. How y'all doing? No, Donovan? No, okay.
No. Looking for from the type of clothes she wears. I don't know if that's a moo combination or whatever it is. I just don't want to see it. That's all.
Milo Factor says Jim Clyburn kind of made himself look stupid on Fox News this morning. I did not see it. I don't have cable news at all.
Yeah. Has everybody noticed that whenever this guy talks, he's always talking like he's pissed off?
He's up there. He's got a lot to be grumpy about, you know? Yes, indeed. So the guy from Texas says, I can't lie, I will watch Candace Owens' documentary. Where is it at? You have to stream it somewhere. Like, how do you find it? And the Rocky says, I am voting straight Republican on Tuesday. Oof, that ain't good for the Democrats, y'all. And let's see here, moving on down. And Michael said, Donovan, would you be upset with me if I told you and sister to migrate back to the South because your ancestors built Texas, Louisiana, Virginia, Arkansas, Oklahoma, Mississippi, Alabama, etc.? Donovan is not leaving California. He is there to stay. He ain't leaving. He got everything he needs there. Tracy,
I will be buried 2 miles at the National Cemetery from my house. All my doctor's appointments are within 15. Everything I need is within 12 miles of my house.
Yes, indeed. Let's see here. Tracy, how you doing? It says overrated chicken existence. Okay. Massamusa says, did you attend the reparation rally? No, we did not. No, we didn't. Maybe next year. Dalton says, I am not black. Okay, got you. Only Pamela's Way says, not hey, big head. Y'all know that's what they told Stacey to do. Have y'all seen Stacey out there? She been dancing and rapping and a whole bunch of stuff. It's like, now, Stacey, come on, man. Really? Wouldn't it just be easier for you to actually do something or say you're going to do something for Black people than to get out there shaking your moneymaker all over the place on the stage with Big Lotto and rapping with the Roots and all of that kind of stuff? It's like, come on.
Now, you know, and here's another thing. I think one of the biggest mistakes the Democratic Party did. They brought down Obama, which, you know, a lot of Black folks are just pissed off because Obama didn't do anything for us in the 8 years that he was there. So I thought that was a political mistake. And then you brought out Oprah in Pennsylvania. What the hell are you doing? You're bringing out people that kind of piss off Black people, you know, in the long run.
Super Patriot, you love Texas? I'm getting there. Slowly but surely. So Oprah went to Pennsylvania? That's what Dr. Oz is, right?
Yeah, no. She didn't go there for Dr. Oz. It was the other election in there. She was supporting this other candidate in the mayor's race or something like that. And, you know, to me, that's the worst thing you can do, especially bringing out Obama. When you bring out Obama, it pisses off and reminds of people 8 years of Obama, and he does DACA, he does for everybody else, and we get nothing out of the deal. Yes, Harlem, but it hasn't Harlem been gentrified?
That's what I understand, but I think Rain will tell us. And Stacey says, I'm holding my vote. And let's see here. Hiru Fresh TV, how are you doing? We say, yep. Notorious Hebrew says he pissed because his alter ego was exposed on the Boondocks. He didn't want Ruckus to go mainstream. They nailed that character. And FK the PP says, where Black is convention for our demand for next election. Okay. The Lonely Banter says, I mean, what can Obama do if you didn't vote in the midterms and the Dems lost Congress to the GOP? Well, you know, Obama's considered a big gun. He's like, oh, we got to bring out Obama. That's, you know, it's like, I don't know if they've been reading the tea leaves, but Black people, he's lost a lot of respect from quite a few Black people. So it's just like, Obama, you be out there lying right along with him. So I don't know what to tell you, you know. Damon.
Well, for me, the Obama thing is with the Ray Ray and Pookie adage. Here's a dude that keeps telling, you know, like Black people, that's all we are. Pick up Ray Ray and Pookie, they ain't doing nothing. I mean, the man to me is just showing anti-Black racism. You know, it's just really sad that he does that in regards to pull up your pants. All we do is get a lecture from him. or we get disrespected by him. And everybody, ooh, Obama's this, Obama's that. And when you ask somebody, name me something specifically that Obama has done for Black people in the 8 years that he was in office, they will make the excuses of this. Well, he didn't have control of Congress. He had control of Congress for 2 years when he first got in there. He did DACA. He did the healthcare thing. He did all that, anything he could do. Executive orders, didn't do it. So, I just wish people would stop making excuses for what we know is nothing.
And Ruth Striker, how you doing? And D Staff. Common Man 80 says, I ain't moving to the South again. My parents left the South for a reason in the early 1960s for a reason. My next move is the continent of Mother Africa. I refuse to be turned around, period. A lot of people just don't want to come back to the South. My father is one of them. He says, I ain't lost nothing in the South. He says, I'm going to stay on the West Coast, California. I do not want to go back to the South. And a lot of people just feel that way. I'm currently in the South, Houston, Texas, to be exact. Being from California, it's a huge adjustment. I will say that. Very huge adjustment. And so here, Refresh TV says Fetterman. Is that who you're saying that Oprah was supporting Fetterman, and he's actually going against that of Oz? A lot of people are kind of mad at Oprah because they're like, you gave us Oz in the first place, and why aren't you supporting Oz? That was your guy for a very long time, right? And Jay Bubby says, I love Texas too. Well, y'all tell me why y'all love Texas. Mr. Pybrain says, Donovan, have you seen that swastika-shaped naval school in San Diego? And Ruth Strider says, we do not have the luxury to hold our vote. Okay. D Staff says Texas is the best. And Midrash says, what Stacey got bars? Did she get in a few bars with Black Thought from the Roots? Was it Black Thought? No, it wasn't Black Thought. For whatever reason, his name always is like right on the tip of my tongue. Wasn't Black Thought though. The one that's on with Jimmy Fallon. What the freak is his name? Y'all tell me in the comments. It's on the tip of my tongue. I can't even think of it. And now Mansamushi says Obama's thumbs down. Okay. And let's see here. I'm just going to go down a little bit. Jay the Informer says there were protesters at Obama and Kamala rallies. Yes, indeed. Stacey says Obama and Oprah don't move me, as with a lot of people. People like, yeah, okay, whatever, right? And Vincent Morales, how are you doing? Stacey says, I hear you, Rain Love and Damon. And how you doing? Long time no see. Says Obama spoke to half-empty venues this weekend. Really? Studio says Obama be out there lying. He do. Be out there just lying. And Christopher says, can anyone please tell me what would I be voting for? We all want to know at this point. And Rain says, yes, Harlem is gentrified, but I'm not. Come see me, Donovan. Just come see her. Rain says, this is a Republican channel? Nope. This is not a Republican channel. It's not a Democrat channel. This is a common sense channel. This is a channel that asks you to, really put some thought into what is being done. We, as always, say, make your own decision. We'll never tell you what to vote for, but think about what you are voting for. So no, we're not either one at all.
Yeah, and the Lonely Banter, he's coming up with some good points. But see, now, what did I just say before in regards to Obama? I said specifically, what did he do for Black people? And Lonely Banter, I'm not trying to pick on you or anything. This is the problem. It's like, and I'm not sure if you're a big Democratic supporter or not, so I'm not trying to be disrespectful, but it's like you only hear what you want to hear. I said specifically, what did he do for Black people? He did nothing. And here you go. HBC, he gave more than $4 billion to the HBCUs. He gave health care. That's not specific to Black people. And HBCUs, do you know what the percentage of Black people that attend HBCUs is compared to our population? It's very minute. And then Trump gave more money to the HBCUs than Obama did, if you're going to bring that up. But let's throw that out the window real quick. I said specifically, anybody in this chat, name me something Obama did specifically for his people. He did DACA by executive order. Last I checked, Obama is not Hispanic. He did LGBTQ. Last I checked, Obama is not LGBTQ. Specific. And that's all I'm saying. I don't want to be disrespectful, but immediately they go to these Democratic talking points. And that's what I meant by Democratic talking points. That's go to this, say this, say this. And everything that you're saying is not what I asked you. I said specifically.
Hello, Damien and Mansa Musa. We go live Sundays and Wednesdays. Wednesdays is our money show with Walter. We talk about money and trending topics as well. Walter is our financial expert, and he teaches us how to make and save money and different investments and everything you can think of. So right now we go live twice. Maybe one day in the future we'll go live another day. We used to, but it was like, yeah, we got a little bit busy in our personal lives. So every once in a while we'll do it another day of the week. So I hope that helps. Rain says Obama bamboozled us twice. How dare he show his face or fix his mouth to ask us for our votes entitled? Absolutely. Hello, Frank. How are you doing this fine evening? And Jafia says the South is now full of non-Americans pretending to be foundational Black Americans. Yes, I will say, especially in Houston, there are a lot of African people from the motherland. I will say that is definitely true. Frankie said no Obama. And El Boogie says, this is a use of your brain channel. Yes, I love that. That is absolutely correct. Super Patriot says Obama didn't do anything. And Lonely Banner, he says, I heard what you said. So you and Donovan have a little bit of back and forth. I'll let y'all have that. Fudge Nice, she says, Obama is not foundational Black American. That is what they say. Y'all really going at it. Lord have mercy. Nick, how are you doing? You says Trump 2024 and beyond. Okay. Let's see. So you guys are all saying nothing. You guys are answering what Donovan was saying. Nothing. I'm assuming about Obama. And Ruth Tracker says short and long-term voting strategy. You guys are all saying nothing at all. Michael said, Demetra, well, you will lean conservative over time because you like the idea of gun rights, limited government, etc. I would say I am conservative in a lot of my views. I want to vote for what makes sense. We should not be giving our loyalty to the Democratic Party just because, right? Because your grandmama them told you, oh, you gotta vote blue no matter who. That's just what we've always been doing. Is like, and that's why we've been getting what we're getting, you know. So that's why I said it's kind of like common sense, right? I'm conservative in a lot of views that I have. And Hero Fresh TV says, okay, so you're talking to the Lonely Banner. Y'all are going at it in the comment section. I'm gonna let y'all do that. Push Night says HBCUs don't even learn Black history. And, that's what I've heard. And Princess, how you doing? He says we love the Obamas and how they represent the Black family, but the truth is that he did nothing specific for Black community. And yeah, I would concede that point. Defiant says Obama took money from the HBCU. And Mr. Bopil, how are you doing? He says Obama did more for LGBTQ than Black people. That is true. And you guys are all saying nothing, not a damn thing. Kimberly says there are options. Vote. And Nikki says his people carry the flag with rainbow colors. The one missing indigo. And Vegan Ninja, I like it. How are you doing? He says there's a man claiming that Obama is bisexual and actually hit on him before in a limo. Don't know how true it is, or it's hard to tell. People be saying all kind of stuff, but anything's possible. But seems like Barack loves Michelle, I guess. I don't know. And Studio says Obama took our money with the healthcare thing. Where were you forced to pay on your tax returns and the healthcare rates went up? I will say that I'm paying for my healthcare out of pocket, and it's a nightmare. I will say that.
And then let me say this to the Lonely Banner. No, I'm not making excuses. Do you realize now there are more non-Blacks attending HBCUs than there are Blacks? I mean, Blacks are still the majority, but they've opened the floodgates to non-Blacks. So again, you're saying specific. You got an HBCU that isn't even specific to Black people anymore. So, I don't know where you're going with it, but the fact is, if you look at a lot of people in the comments, it seems like there are more people that understand Obama did nothing specifically for Black people than the people than where you're standing at right there, because I keep asking you for specifics and you haven't said one thing yet.
Yes, and Mellow Factory says it's like what Brother Phil says, y'all get that racism out of your party. Maybe we will lean more conservative. That is absolutely true. I mean, we cannot deny that the Republicans are just a little bit racist, but that's not a secret, right? We know that.
And then real quick to the Lonely Banter, Joe Biden promised $50 million or something, or whatever it was, to the HBCUs. Then he pulled 30 million of it, or whatever it was, billion, or whatever it was supposed to be. Demetra, you would be more familiar with that. These are just facts, the Lonely Banner. These are just facts.
Right. I mean, and I get it. I mean, I know sometimes it seems like we are beating up on the Democratic Party. It's not that we're beating up on the Democratic Party per se. It's just that Black people, Black voters overwhelmingly, predominantly give our vote to the Democratic Party, and we have gotten nothing specifically. So when we talk about them doing stuff for Black people, we're speaking specifics. So when you think about something like the Asians, they got something, Hispanics, they got something, LGBTQ, they got something, and everybody else in between got something specifically, but Black people have not got anything. We always get that trickle down conversation. Well, if like the Affordable Care Act, yeah, that's for Black people too. Okay, great, but what are we going to get specifically? They know what we want. We want reparations. We want land. We want a whole host of other things. And it's like, well, we can't afford it. We don't have the money. I'm just not going to do anything for Black people now. But then they run off and do stuff for everybody else. And so it's like, y'all know y'all can't do nothing without Black people, but yet you continue to give us the middle finger. So I'm not going to do nothing for you specifically. But what I want you to do is vote us in the office so we can do for everybody else specifically. How about that? So I hope that helps. I don't want you to.
Then, real quick, just to close that out, did he ever define what hope and change was?
No, nobody knows what hope and change is. It's just, they know that most people are just going to get Black people. Us in general, we are very emotional. Ooh, it's the hope you can believe in. Yes, yes, we got change is coming. And if you ever stop and ask one of those Black people who are big time, Democratic supporters, they say, great, change is coming. What kind of change is coming? I don't know, but a change is going to come. You can't tell me what kind of change is it good or is it bad? Well, Obama said we need some change, and it's the hope the change you can believe in. But so those are talking points, but never did Obama. Did he define what that was? It was just a cute sound bite, and it got people rallied up, and we all ran around screaming hope and change, and nobody even knows what that is, even to this day. And Pamela says, Sister Demetra, do you know who the co-founder of Alibaba is? I don't know who the co-founder. I just saw that the other day, but I do know who the founder is, and that's Jack Ma. Sounds like Jack Ma got in a lot of trouble in China, and it has not really said a whole lot. I don't know that they ever find him, but I don't remember exactly who the co-founder of Alibaba is. But if you could tell me, I would appreciate you for that. And of course, Alibaba is like the China version of Amazon. And Super Patriot says exactly. Kiki says, are they trying to get rid of DACA again? I thought I read someone saying that. So when you say they, talk about the Democrats. Brother Damon, thank you.
The Republicans have promised to revisit DACA and get that off of the books.
Brother Damon, thank you so much. I love and appreciate you for that donation. Every little bit helps. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Let's see. Michael said, Demetra, you will lean conservative over time because you like the idea of gun rights, limited government, etc. Okay. And Printer says this is a Black first channel. Yes, indeed. You better believe it. And so, Michael, you're saying the same thing about Donovan. And let's see here. Rain says Obama is African / white. He is not foundational Black American. Stacey, you say right. And Nick, you say common sense, ma'am. Okay. Mellow Factor says white plus Kenyan does not equal foundational Black American. I think we kind of established that Obama does not have roots as far as American descendants of slavery here in America. That guy from Texas says Alibaba is an Asian company. Yes, it is. And Michael says nothing for your people, Donovan. And Kimberly says if you are tired of both Democrats and Republicans, you can vote nonpartisan, libertarian. That's what I am. I'm nonpartisan. I don't think any party should assume our vote. Like, yeah, they're registered Democrats. I know they're going to vote for us. Now I want you to be on your toes and, do your job to earn my vote. So that way I will vote for you if you're worthy of getting my vote.
And thus it's very easy for them to dismiss Tiffany Cross and Bo Lee Martin and all these other people, because it's like, they're going to vote for us anyway. Why do we keep these people on the payroll? It's easy to cut the fat when you know you're going to get that vote anyway. And that's what they're doing to us as they pivot to the right to gain Hispanic and Asian votes. That's what they're going to do.
Yep. The Lonely Bounty says, sounds like you wanted Obama to do a government overreach. There's a thing called Congress. Can I ask you something? And I do mean this with all the love in my heart. Why is it that when it comes to Black people wanting something specifically, we throw that out there? Oh, well, you know, Congress obstructed him. Yeah, that is true to some degree, but he wasn't obstructed when he did some executive orders for other people. He didn't have, Congress wasn't in his way when he did that. And so I think we need to move that excuse out of the way. And also, Obama had the Democratic Congress for 2 years up until it flipped over, just like it's about to do for Joe Biden. So he had all the power, if you will, in his hands then, and did not seem to fit to do anything specifically for us. And even when he had to force his way with things, he still did that, even though he was obstructed. So I think we need to stop making excuses for Obama, especially when it comes to us as Black people. What do you think, Lonely Banter? And let's see here. Jessica, he says, I heard that lately about HBCUs too. And hello, and I'm sorry that you did not get the notification. And Tito Sanders, he says, who trusts Obama? And the guy from Texas says, is early voting over? I think that it is. I think early voting was over in Texas on the 4th, if I'm not mistaken. And so, of course, everybody can go out on Tuesday and vote. And Mr. Piebrand says, and nothing for FBA or ADOS. And Damon says, it's a 5 times t-shirt she's wearing. Who was that? And I saw, okay, Donovan, you and Lonely Banner, y'all going back and forth. And Stacey says, I don't think they should have opened up HBCUs like that to everyone. Yeah, now it's just like, come on now. It's crazy. Everybody up in there. And Common Man 80 says, not one single thing did we get as a people. Nothing. Yep. And Rainey says, Black Americans made Obama. He would have been a frustrated senator. That was not well known. I totally agree with you. And Dow Tony says, black. Kiki says, oh, please, I don't believe that I'm not an Obama fan, but I don't believe that this world just doesn't want to believe that a Black man and a woman can have a genuine, long and loving relationship. If your eyes didn't see it, don't let your lips speak it. I totally agree. Yeah, because I don't really like to delve in. I heard he was, batting for the other team. I don't know. As far as I know, he loves Michelle from what he tells us. Damon says Ukraine steady racking up them dollars. Yep, they balling off the U.S. right. Super Patriot says hope and change sounds great. Yeah, but what is it? And Studio says hope and change. You hope and it changed for the worse. Exactly right. And Kimberly says the spiritual symbolism and energy of the imagery of Obama family was owed to the ancestors. My 84-year-old grandmother saw him voted in. She thought she would not live to see a Black president. Yes, I totally agree with that. So the symbolism of it was overwhelming. I would say, I admit it was overwhelming for me as well. My mom is no longer here, but I'm glad that she was able to see a Black man be nominated as president of the United States. Because, from their generation especially, they were told that was never going to happen, right? William says Alibaba co-founder is Jack Ma. Okay, so, but who is the other person that's the founder of Alibaba? And LB says, you can't spend hope and change. Exactly. There you go. Super Patriot says, what about faith and goodness? Sounds about the same, right? Jessica says, we've been saying that about the Democrats for a whole year now. If a person doesn't see that, see they are not doing anything for us, then you are choosing ignorance. Now, face it, I totally agree with you. D. Staffy says, that's why they allow them to come here in droves. Yep. And Stacy says, bye, everyone. Enjoy your weekend. And you enjoy your weekend as well. Thank you so much for being here. Yes, virtual hugs to you as well. And Javia says, Simmons College is an HBCU in Kentucky, and it is almost 80% white. Yeah, a lot of the HBCUs are seeing a whole bunch of others coming there, becoming the band leaders or the drum majors and all that other stuff. Is like, Damon says his net worth changed, to say the least, right? Michael says Demetra and Donovan for president and vice president, eliminate social programs and abortions for good, promote free markets, etc. I can dig it. Rain says Obama scam our asses for real. Lonely Banter says, by the way, your comment about Biden and HBCUs was false. So y'all talking that out. Daniel says, don't let emotions get in the way of all the time. I totally agree with you. I think we should start to be more logical as Black people. And Stacey says, no, he didn't define it. Nope, never did. Dial Tone says nothing will change. Mr. Piebrand says Lonely Banner is a Democratic shield, but he was entitled to his Where'd he go? My comments jumped up. There's a lot of comments here. Where did your comment go? Okay, there we go. It says, but he is entitled to his own opinion, but not his own facts. Yes, indeed. And Pudge Nice, you say he only played rap music. Let's see here. Vac Media Productions. How you doing? He says, ain't no party like a gangster party. Tupac, yeah. And he says, he also say, were you talking about Jack Ma? That's who I know to be the founder of Alibaba. I'm not sure about who the other person is. Jafia says, change it come. There are more Hispanics and gays in control now than it was before Obama. Damn. Mara says, they beat up on thyself and is coming to light. Mr. Pirate Brain says, I know Donovan respect. So y'all speaking to each other. And The Rock says, Donovan, bro, how long you've been retired from the Air Force? So y'all talking about that. All right, so let me see. Invoice, I think that is how you doing. He says Obama had a super majority. But he says some of us need to take a civics class. I totally agree. You know, I can benefit from a refresher course as well. And Lonely Banner says Demetra K is not an excuse. There are certain things you can and cannot do via executive order. I totally agree. But why not try to do something for us? Do you think that he could have done reparations? You think that's something he could have did? I'm asking. And Jessica says exactly that. Demetra K. And Printer says America respects business, so the Black community needs to do business with whichever party that has something to offer us. No other groups vote for nothing in return. You are absolutely right. And Lonely Banter says, y'all forget we was in a recession when Obama got in office. We were in a recession. Go ahead, Donovan.
No, we weren't in a recession. We were in a housing market crash. And then during that housing market crash, that wasn't Obama's fault. He walked into it. He gave trillions of dollars to the banks. And guess what? In the years that housing market crash actually happened, a third of all Black wealth was taken, and Obama did nothing to stop it.
And that is true. I mean, those are the facts. So I hope that helps the Lonely Banter. And Masamusi says, I need this live every day. Now, I wish we could make this a daily show. That would be pretty cool. I mean, maybe one day in the future. We'll see. But I love the sentiment nevertheless. All right, let's see. Mallow Factor said, I would like to see a pause to all immigration at least for a year. I would too. And Common Man ADE say, Biden ain't obstructed. And he has a Democratic Congress and Senate. Stop making excuses for your political master. Yeah. They sending money and doing all kinds of stuff for everybody else. Well, whenever it comes to Black people, it's like, well, you know, we would love to, but we just can't do it. So Rain says some of the chat are still mental slaves for the Democrats for real. Well, you know, it's a learning process. As y'all can see, Donovan say he is the recovering Democrat. So it's always a recovering process. Pudge Nice says immigration is undermining Black Americans totally. And William says, nah, a 25-year-old moratorium on that, end all foreign aid. He said 25 years. Wow. D-Rock says Trump will be president in 20. He said 30-25, and I will vote for him. Okay. Vac Media Productions says I had a supposed white ally who has an electoral vote in the Dem party say to me, who else is there to vote for, and was pissed off when I checked her for that entitlement arrogance. There you go. And they need to learn something differently on Tuesday that, well, there's other options, right? LS says still haven't seen a Black president. So you're saying, I don't know about that Obama being first Black president. How about Bill Clinton? Didn't they call him the first Black president? That Media Production says Eminem syndrome. All right, and so let's see here. Let me just go on to the bottom because I'm over time. And William says Alibaba founders Jack Ma, Joseph C. Tasi, and I know I probably said that right. Zhang Yang, Ying, Jiahang, Jing, and a few others. And so Joseph actually is the owner of who? The Brooklyn Nets, right? If I'm not mistaken. Is that what we got going on? So there you have it. I knew I saw that somewhere, but I could not think of who that was. So there you go. A lot of power there. And then Rain says Democrats benign neglect. Yes. All right. All right. So let's see here. Yes. Only Poundless Way. You said the same thing. Joe Tai is a co-founder too, and he is one of the ones who said he needed to sit Kyrie down and do some splaining about the tweet. Yep. Absolutely right. John Bill Clinton Smith, how you doing? He says hi from Manchester, England. Wow, how are you? Way over there across the pond. Hello, brother Todd. How are you? He says Team Kanye and Kyrie carry on. Yes, indeed. And I'm just trying to say hello to anyone that came on here afterwards. And T-Shawn, I haven't seen you in a while. On the comment section, she says Joe Biden not even talking about reparations, nor is Kamala. Nope, and they're not going to. Let's see who else came on here. John, he says, I am watching Spider-Man 3. If I microwave a spider and taunt it to bite me, would I get Spidey powers? I don't know. Try it out and see. And tell us what happened. I love and appreciate you for that comment, man. Eddie, that is a great donation. Thank you so much for that. Every little bit helps this channel. That is awesome and amazing. So thank you so much. He says, I voted for Obama as a test because if Obama survived his presidency, it would have made room for Colin Powell and other real black men who would do something for our people. So now the door is open. Yep. And I ain't gonna lie to kick it. Like I said to y'all, I voted for Obama twice. And look what it got us. So I would never lie to y'all and say, well, I knew he was a sucker. I voted for him twice. I ain't gonna lie, you know. But yes, Colin Powell, some do consider him a great man. And if I'm not mistaken, he was saying that we need reparations, right? He was on board for reparations, if I'm not mistaken. So yeah, he would have been a good option, even though he is, I guess, and still. Well, I know he had disassociated from the Conservative Party once Trump came and he was like, yeah, I can't hang out with y'all anymore. So yes, indeed. All right, y'all. Let me see who else came on here before I get out of here. Thundy says, down with the Dems. They are scared as hell. Yes, indeed. And LS says Colin Powell was a sellout too. Yeah, some would say that. I mean, I'm not going to say he was always on board with black people. And Marvin said, hell yeah. And Studio says Colin Powell lied to kill those Iraqis in millions. So yeah, again, like I said, he was problematic. But anyway, Kareem said, let's be fair. Biden can't give reparations because of all Congress is anti-black. I know Donovan wants to say something, so I'll go ahead and when he gets his cat out the way.
Well, again, you know, that's another, again, talking point. Biden is racist because he comes from a generation to where that is how he was raised. You can't take it away from him. Joe Biden has wrote every crime bill from about 1975 up until the 1994 crime bill. If you want to do something that would significantly help black people, why hasn't the Congress, Nancy Pelosi, and all of these folks in Congress repealed the 1994 crime bill? The 1994 crime bill incentivizes states to incarcerate people because for every dollar that they spend incarcerating people, the federal government matches them dollar for dollar. Wouldn't that be something? I mean, it ain't a great thing, but why isn't he doing that? No, because he's a racist man himself. He's a product of his time. He hung out with Strom Thurmond and some of the most rabid racists of the 1960s, and those were his mentors.
Okay, so I see y'all kind of going back and forth. But anyway, y'all, we could be here forever. We love and appreciate y'all for being here. We're going to get out of here. Thank you so much for spending your Sunday evening with us. I know the time has changed, so some of us are probably a little bit tired because we're still trying to adjust. So as you guys know, the midterms are Tuesday. We're going to see what happens. We might entertain coming live and doing some sort of I don't know, or maybe, I don't know, maybe we'll do something live. We won't be here for 2 hours. I will tell y'all that much. We say that all the time and it never happens. But we might entertain doing it live for y'all just to see what happened during the midterms. It'll probably be a little bit later on in the evening. I don't know. Don't hold me to it. Anyway, we're about to get out of here. We'll be back for sure on Wednesday with the Wealth Wednesdays with Walter. And of course, Donovan and I will do a podcast, or we might come live on Tuesday. So look out for that. Of course, we have ways to donate to the channel. I thank and love everyone so much for donating and helping the channel, whether you liked, subscribed, you told a friend, you became a member, whatever it is you did. We love and appreciate you for that. And so we will see y'all later. You guys do have a great rest of your evening. Peace.